KIRO AM Seattle, KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
This hour is brought to you by Goldberg and Jones.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, what's going on? Good morning. It is Brock and Salk Show, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com, Seattle Sports app, podcast platforms, 97.3 HD2, and YouTube. If you like to watch the show, yes, you can do so on YouTube from wherever you are. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to be heading out on vacation here shortly. Spring break for a lot of the kids in schools, Seattle Public Schools, and a whole bunch of others. So if you're heading out on vacation next week, you can take the show with you. Don't worry. You can still watch on YouTube. Easy way to do it. Or on the Seattle Sports app that streams live. Or you can listen on demand later or watch on demand later with YouTube. So it's pretty user friendly. Whatever you need, we'll find a way to be with you wherever you are, which is great. And then hopefully by then the Mariners will start winning because they're not doing that now. No, not doing that now. Yeah, they've lost 5 in a row now. 5 in a row. They're in last place. Kind of last place in general, too. Last place with batting average. Last place with the OPS. Last place in the standings.
Is this how you're going to start our morning?
Well, how did you want to start the morning? With more Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel talk? Like, it's kind of the story, Maura. I don't know. I don't like it, but I do have some more texts that came in both during the game and overnight.
I'm
if
sure
you're
you do.
Interested, if the Mariners get swept by Houston at home, can I start to worry then? Sure, start to worry whenever you want. I'm not here to tell you not to. You can start to worry now. You can start. I don't think that you'd be making a lot of baseball sense if you said the season was over, this is done, forget it, this is a bad team. But starting to worry? Sure, I'm starting to worry. Aren't you? How could you not be? They're not playing the way they're supposed to play. That doesn't mean they're not going to play that way. But certainly the start of the season, of course you should worry a little bit. Yeah, this is not what you want. I found a simple solution, says a text, to resolve my frustration with the Mariners. I just recalibrated my expectations. Would you like to hear my secret? I lowered my expectations of them. That's right. I no longer expect them to win the World Series, to win their division, or even to make the playoffs. I bundled all of those expectations up and threw them into the trash. They are back to being the lovable losing team that I've always known them to be. And just like that, my frustration is gone. Look, there is something to lowering expectations. The one thing I will say that really has made me nervous since the start, and I think I've been pretty clear about this, was the number of times the words World Series came out of everybody's mouth. Not us in the press. That's our job. But they had a choice. How do they want to handle it? And I was never comfortable with the way they chose to do so. They kept saying, well, we think we're World Series contenders. We're not afraid of those words. And okay, you get the choice. There's no good answer to the question. But I guess I've just always felt a whole lot more comfortable with, well, we're going to take it one game at a time and some of that stuff. Saying the words World Series put a lot on you. Let us do that. I never felt like they needed to do that. And I do think if you have to come up with one big reason why they are struggling the way they are so far right now, it's not because they put together a bad roster. I think it's the expectations and the weight of them. That's my feeling. I don't know how to prove it. I can't. But when you've got guys who are not hitting anywhere close to their career norms, you got to look for something. And that feels about right to me. What now, Salk? Mariners haven't won a single series. I know it's, quote, early, but if they keep performing like this, you'll need to change the name of the show to the Brock and Salk Show, because that's what the fan base will be doing. Sulking. Yes. Thank you. That's the first time I've heard that sulk bit. That's good. Now you're right. They haven't won a single series. And if they go the whole year without winning a single series, we will all sulk together, I promise. I don't think that's going to happen, but I promise if it does, we'll all be here together sulking. absolutely loving the 4D chess that the Mariners are playing right now. You can't go for runners in scoring position if you don't put any in scoring position. Can you put the thinking meme on there? Is it Weebay thinking? Yeah. If you, because in all seriousness, Texter writes, why does it feel like in the past 25 years a 3-run deficit is insurmountable 75% of the time? Well, right now it is definitely starting to feel that way. There's no doubt. They're not hitting. It's the lowest batting average in the league and the lowest OPS in the league. So they're not really doing anything. They're not hitting for power. They're not hitting for average. They're not, hitting doubles. They're not getting on base. They're not doing anything. And then when they are, they're not executing the way they need to. And those moments get magnified because there aren't enough of them. So poor Connor Joe in there yesterday makes an error, and it's a bad error. I mean, you can't make that throwing error. Is he playing a new position? Sure. But that guy's been around baseball for a while. Charge a ground ball, throw home. You lose mental focus there. And the ball goes flying high. And the next thing you know, 2 runs are in, and instead of a 1-run game, it's a 3-run game. Can't have it. Can't have it.
On the bright side, it's pretty much a lot of the American League is struggling.
I have some notes on that.
There's one team in the National League that's below 500, and there's 10 in the American.
There's a lot of reasons not to panic and to realize you got a lot of time left in this season. Of course.
I'm sorry, 2 teams in the National League below 500.
And there's only 3 teams in the American League above 500. So you're not, it's not like you've lost the year and you're toast. Of course not. It's been a week and a half. 2 weeks today. It's been 2 weeks. But that's very different. So this is why I keep trying to help with this. This is what I'm trying to say. And let me read this text because it leads me perfectly to my point. It says, huge Mariners fan. I find myself although not exactly a late night text, I find myself here in the bottom of the 5th inning hoping the Mariners lose just so in the morning I can actually hear you talk about what some of the problems are versus it's fine, it's baseball. Honestly, hoping even more they go on a 6 to 8 game winning streak and you prove yourself correct that there was no serious problem at all and that's just baseball. Am I taking crazy? I've not said that. I've not said that at all. I've not sat here and said, everything's fine. I'm not saying that. Please open your ears. I'm not saying that. I'm trying to differentiate I'm trying to differentiate between the way they're playing now and what I think could happen over the course of the season. If the Mariners play like this for the rest of the year, they will suck. Let me just be very clear. If they continue to play this way, this will be an awful season. We will all be very angry for 162 games. People will get fired. People will get traded. People will move on because a team that is built to contend the way they have been cannot play like this over 162 games and survive. It's true. And the way they're playing right now is garbage. They're not hitting, and they're not making the little things and doing the little things, the execution, the mental concentration, the defense, all those things are going away at the same time. And I have some serious concerns. Said it a whole bunch. I keep saying the same 2 things, the weight of the expectations and the challenges in the clubhouse following the WBC. And the fact that we were really all under the impression that this year would be different to start. Those 3 things together absolutely make this a thing. I'm not sitting here laughing at it and being like, whatever, 4-9, doesn't mean anything. I'm not doing that. But I will promise you, I'm also not sitting here saying that going 4-9 to start the year means they're going to miss the playoffs, be bad, and ruin our summer. Because it doesn't mean those things. Because we've seen way too many teams go through a bad 2-week stretch, pull themselves out of it, and be great, including, last year's team multiple times. So both of these things can be true at the same time. They really can. The Mariners are playing garbage baseball right now. And you got to put the words right now in there. Because I don't think that this lineup, this roster is going to play garbage baseball for 6 months. But with the weight of expectations, the promise of a good start, and some clubhouse issues and fissures that seem to show up during spring training after the WBC, it's important that they figure this thing out quick. I don't think they have 2-3 months to get it figured out. I think they're going to have to do it faster this time. That's my feeling when it comes to the Mariners. So I know it's hard to say two things at the same time. I know we live in a society where you have to either say this team is bad and is going to be bad forever, I hate everyone, or this team is going to be just fine. I think it's easier to take a broader approach to baseball rather than overreacting to each thing we see. But I don't like what I'm seeing any more than you do. It's been awful. Final text says, I give up on trying to understand or predict anything about this team. It's like trying to comprehend infinity. You know what? You're right. That part I am with you. Rob Refsnyder is the perfect example of this. This poor guy. Rob Refsnyder, Lyle, we know two things about Rob Refsnyder, right? He crushes left-handed pitching, and he's not a great fielder, right? Those are the two things that we absolutely know about Rob Refsnyder coming in. And it's not because somebody told us. You literally just have to look at the numbers. It's a numbers-based thing. Rob Refsnyder, since coming here, is 0 for 16 against left-handers with 1 home run robbery in right field. You can't make this crap up. You can't make it up. And that's why I do sometimes say it's just baseball. Because there are moments where this game is incomprehensible. And it is like trying to understand infinity because the things that are supposed to happen just don't always happen. So hopefully a day off, clear the head, come back against Houston and play some better ball because what we've seen so far, not going to do it.
Rangers shut out the Mariners this afternoon. Offense continues to struggle. Only 2 hits on the day.
A day off comes at the right time. Up next, the Mariners return home looking to end a 5-game skid in the first of 3 against the Astros. Tomorrow night at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame.
And that is 12 in a row set down by Emerson Hancock.
Listen live anywhere for free on the Seattle Sports app. One app, every Mariners game.
If you actually are the person that will take care of them after the fact, if you actually will be there for them, if you will pick up your phone, then they come back to you.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Why is K2 Vision RLE a permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers? How is it that you'll never develop a cataract after K2 Vision RLE? And how is RLE different from LASIK?
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. We'll answer those questions and others when you join us for our free live webinar today at noon. Andy, what are some of the other questions you hear?
Well, how long is the procedure and recovery? Or who's a good candidate for RLE?
And we'll also answer, how much does RLE cost? Is there financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE?
Find out how K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers.
And cataracts too.
Right, no more cataracts.
K2 Vision's free live webinar today at noon. Space will be limited, so register now at k2visionrle.com.
Join us at our free live webinar today at noon. Sign up at k2visionrle.com.
If you've been in a wreck or a fender bender,
you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility, not just where your insurance company tells you to go. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. With over 25 years of auto repair work, they'll exceed your expectations.
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
At Accurate Auto Body, all their work is performed by certified technicians, only using OEM parts to guarantee the safety of you and your family. For the best in auto body collision repair and customer service, give them a call at 425-883-2450 or AccurateAutoBodyWA.com. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Visit America's Car Museum now, where history roars to life. If you loved Ford versus Ferrari, see Shelby Cobras and GT40s in the birth of the American supercar. Cruise-ins, drive-ins, race simulators, fun for all ages. Plan today at americascarmuseum.org.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They're not just window and door experts. They're experts at taking care of you and your home. At Pella, they find the products that meet your needs and their experts install them. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Discover why Pella is a trusted choice for homeowners everywhere. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. That's Pella.com/Eisen.
You've said it before. This will only take a second. Just a quick glance. A fast reply. But on the road, seconds don't wait for you. They decide everything. Who stops, who doesn't, who makes it home. So next time your phone lights up, ask yourself, is this distraction worth a ticket or even a life? Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Mariners and Astros tomorrow at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer helps you easily find and buy the right coverage for you. It's everything you've always wanted. Well, I mean, as far as a website that lets you shop, quote, and buy insurance in one place. But hey, maybe that is everything you've always wanted. Yeah, people have different types of dreams. And if all you've ever been searching for is a website that helps you choose home insurance rates and coverage, boy, do we have great news about Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
You could file your taxes on a basic free service, which is fine. But are you okay with fine? Because when it's your money on the line, do you really want to guess if you missed a credit or hope the math is right? Get the confidence of TurboTax for free right on the Intuit Credit Karma app. Free Fed and free state for simple 1040s only. Around 37% of filers qualify. See details at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for EITC, CTC, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
When I'm catching up with friends or family, C-Star Restaurant and Raw Bar in Bellevue, it's where we go. A welcoming atmosphere, and I get to see my good friend, Chef John Howie.
Hey, thanks, Brock. At C-Star, we're known for fresh local seafood, unmatched hospitality, and great value. Right now, enjoy a 3-course dinner in the lounge every night, starting at just $50.
$50. You cannot beat that value these days, and it's only with Chef John Howie at CStarRestaurant.com, CStarRestaurant.com.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. Make this the year you take that unforgettable fishing trip to Queen Charlotte Lodge. Time is running out for summer bookings. Experience a luxury resort and amazing fishing with your buddies, family, father, or son. King salmon runs, halibut, and lingcod are always plentiful. Book your stay at fishqcl.com and use code ESPN. Experience fishing first class. Experience fishqcl.com.
This hour is brought to you by Goldberg and Jones.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Presented by Marquee Data. Here's what you need to know. Up first.
All right, off days tend to be action days in baseball, but I don't think there's much for the Mariners to do today other than to regroup, refocus, and just start hitting. Yesterday was rough. Just a couple of hits, 2 walks, no real threats, no runs, obviously, as they are just swept out of Texas and fall to 4-9 into last place in the AL West. In addition to the problems offensively, you just can't afford any errors, and they had one.
On the way to Nimmo, swinging a ground ball up the first base line, charging counter Joe. He'll come to the plate, and it's off the glove of the catcher, Mitch Garver. 1 run will score, and 2 runs will score.
He didn't go off his glove. I think it went about 5 feet over his head. Maybe he touched it with his glove. Regardless, you just can't afford that when you're not hitting, and it feels like everyone on the team is very tight. I said earlier this week that they're not having any fun. They look tight in the field. They look tight at the plate. Maybe that is a bit of confirmation bias, but something's got to change. They got to loosen it up. They got to find a way to go out and actually start to do their job. The offense, still the biggest problem. They're hitting just 184 as a team. They're OPSing 581. That's not going to get it done. Both dead last in the majors. Neither are good enough, despite the pitching being absolutely stellar. Once again, Dan Wilson.
Tough way to end a road trip. This is a tough road trip. I think tomorrow, a chance for us to clear our mind a little bit and then get back after it at home on Friday. Looking forward to getting back home in front of the home folks and at T-Mobile and getting after it. And this is a tough one. offensively, again, just not much going on offensively. We were able to get a little bit of traffic, but nothing. We're not able to move it along. Weren't anything, not enough consistency on the offensive side.
Yeah, not enough consistency anywhere, really, other than the pitching staff that's really been tremendous. Brendan Donovan has had his ups and downs, and he understands kind of what this game is.
This game, it's not something you can run from, so it's kind of one of those things that's like you just got to keep preparing, and I understand I'm not playing to the standard that I set for myself defensively and what I have done the last few years, so...
Gotta love all of the accountability. Nobody is running from the challenges, but unfortunately a lot of challenges right now. Houston in for a 4-game wraparound series tomorrow. They have the worst ERA in the league. Mariners are the worst hitting team in the league, so we'll see what happens when they meet each other.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Well, fortunately for the Mariners, not the worst story in town today. Ron Francis, Hockey Hall of Famer, one of the great players of all time. And while he's been in charge of hockey operations for the Kraken since their inception, that will change at the end of this season. He and the team have reached an agreement for him to step away. I think that sounds like a nice way of firing somebody of his stature, and it feels like that's exactly what is happening. GM Jason Botterill will lead hockey operations, so they aren't doing a full house cleaning. We'll see what that means for the coaching staff. Does Lane Lambert return for some of the top players? Are they all coming back? And even if they do decide to bring in someone above Botterill to set a direction for where this franchise should go, whoever leads it, whether it's Botterill or whether they bring somebody else in from the outside, they do need to make some serious changes. This is a good start. I don't sit here and take any joy in the firing of Ron Francis. Again, one of the great players of all time, but he never made the playoffs when he was in Carolina. He built this thing from the ground up and made the playoffs once, and they just have not been good. They haven't been consistent at anything, and that's just can't do that forever. Like, at some point, the fan base deserves more than that. They've yet to have a coach that galvanizes anybody. They've yet to have a real star player. They've yet to have more than a handful of players that have exceeded expectations. So they make the major change. We'll see how sweeping those changes are and what will eventually get this team into a place where, we would all like them to be.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Well, 2 weeks from today, we will watch as the Seahawks, probably trade out of the first round and force us to wait another day to see who they're adding to the team. But Daniel Jeremiah joined us yesterday, and he's given us some names. R. Mason Thomas, the defensive end. Chris Johnson, cornerback. We've heard a lot about Jadarian Price, the running back. So we asked DJ, all right, which would be the home run pick if they were the first pick of the Seahawks?
I will say, and it's not, I believe I have, well, actually, I think I have it that way. I would say both. I would say Jadarian Price. I was going to say how I have it and in terms of how I have him ranked and then who I think will have the biggest impact. And I would say Jadarian Price would be that guy.
How about that? That answer surprised me a little bit. You guys can hear the rest of DJ coming up here in about 5 minutes. Congratulations to Aaron Rye. He wins the par 3 competition yesterday at Augusta, although usually that assures you're not going to win the Masters, so maybe he's not too happy. They are underway today. The leaderboard is so short that I won't tell you much about it. Other than this, you may not be able to win the Masters on Thursday, but you can lose it. Poor Carlos Ortiz is 7 over after 5. That's not going to get it done. If I were 7 over after 5, I'd be very, excited. He's 7 over after 5. His Masters is over. So, sad for him. That's everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. Yes, we are 2 weeks away from the first round of the NFL draft. Yes, I'm probably with you guys. The more I think about it, the more it feels like they are going to trade out of the first round. I'm not convinced it's going to happen, but obviously it sure wouldn't surprise me or probably anybody else if it goes in that direction. So what does DJ have for us? How ready? He's ready. He knows everything about this draft already, and he's got the Seahawks making moves that should help us. So stick around. You'll hear it next on Brock and Salk.
4 down territory. Michael Bumpus answers the top 4 football questions of the day.
Who would you entertain if you can get him for cheap as the Seahawk?
So this dude's been in the league 15 years. He's a big personality. I take a look at Cam Jordan. He had 10.5 sacks last year. If he's still around after this draft is over with, go ahead and take a look at Cam, especially if you're not sure about what's going to happen at your end spots.
Catch every 4 down territory on the Seattle Sports app.
Contractors, equipment buyers, operators, this is the big one you've been waiting for. The huge Marysville Heavy Equipment, Contractors Equipment, and Vehicles online auction. Presented by the Murphy Auction Company. Bidding is underway now and starts closing at 10 a.m. Thursday, April 16th. On the auction block, 11 excavators, including a 2018 Bobcat E85, 3 wheel loaders featuring a 2018 Cat 966M. There's 6 telehandlers and reach mowers from John Deere and New Holland, and lots more, like 2 Vector trucks, 2 Mack CV713 transfer trucks, 11 dump trucks, and 2 2015 Peterbilt 567 roll-off trucks. And then there's over 300 titled items, including pickup trucks, vans, and SUVs. Preview all items at our location in Marysville, April 14th and 15th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Get online and start bidding now at murphyauction.com. murphyauction.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Evan Cohen here. Did you know the average employer sorts through about 250 resumes for one job opening? That's a lot of time reviewing applications. Well, if you're hiring, here's good news. You can now review resumes and applications faster thanks to ZipRecruiter. With ZipRecruiter's new feature, qualified candidates who are very interested in your job show up at the top of your list. No wonder ZipRecruiter is the #1 rated hiring site based on G2. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
We are seeing one of the strongest gold markets ever. That jewelry you no longer wear and the gold coins tucked away could be worth a lot more right now. For nearly 5 decades, Bellevue Rare Coins has been the trusted authority for buying gold, rare coins, diamonds, watches, and entire collections with free evaluations, no pressure, and no obligation. Find them in Bellevue, Linwood, Issaquah, or Tacoma, and BellevueRareCoins.com. Bellevue Rare Coins, the trusted authority for selling your valuables.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Worried about tariffs, imports, hidden fees on your trees? Relax. At Big Trees, the only thing growing faster than our trees is your relief, because trees don't come with tariffs. What you will find is a massive nursery open to the public with hundreds of locally grown trees ready for planting. Come visit our nursery today or online at bigtreesupply.com. That's bigtreesupply.com.
Immaculate greens, unrivaled natural beauty, championship caliber conditions. Loomis Trail is the epitome of Northwest golf. With water in play on nearly every hole and tree-lined fairways, Loomis Trail provides a fantastic golf experience for those that want a challenge and those looking for a fun getaway. What round are you up for? Tee times available online at golfloomis.com. Start planning your perfect golf getaway today.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Oil isn't the only resource hit hard by global events. American farmers are sounding the alarm by fertilizer prices at planting season. Will this disrupt our food supply? Raising prices cause shortages? I'm not waiting to find out, and neither should you. Go to mypatriotsupply.com, get a 3-month emergency food supply. They'll include $200 worth of extra survival protein absolutely free. After serving more than 3 million American families since 2008, you can trust mypatriotsupply.com. Go to mypatriotsupply.com.
Brock Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Sorry, I was distracted, Brock. I was just watching more video of the Zammoth. Have you seen that yet?
What's that?
It's the Utah Mammoth's Zamboni that they've turned into a giant woolly mammoth. Oh, it is hilarious.
Whoa.
It debuted last night, and it is spectacular. Look at that thing.
Is it bigger than a normal Zamboni as well?
No, they've added onto it like a parade float. It is hilarious.
Good.
Go Google the Zammoth. The thing is really incredible, and they're going to the playoffs. They're having a lot of fun there in Utah. Daniel Jeremiah is getting ready for the draft. 15 days away, and he's with us once again. Good morning, DJ. How are we?
I'm doing great. For some reason, I can't see you guys today.
Yeah,
but,
where are you?
I'll assume that I'm not being trolled with like a Paul Skeens jersey.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tough one for the
no, we
pods
wouldn't
yesterday.
do that. No, Brock's wearing his Masters.
I got my
shirt.
3/4 zip Masters.
Ooh.
Yeah. Did you?
So if you got a text as I did yesterday from a friend who was going to be there, and they said, "What can I bring you back? Like, what would you guys go with?"
Oh, that's great.
A pimento sandwich, probably.
No, you don't want that. No,
it's not going to travel too great.
Mm-mm. I mean, I think the go-to is a hat, right? The go-to are some hats. That's a winner chicken dinner. I think obviously the polo.
Is it an aggressive
as
move
well.
to reply pullover? Because that's what I did.
You went pullover?
It is after you spent $1,800 there last year.
I know.
Right?
But I looked through my closet, not a pullover. Somehow spent all that money, didn't come away with a single pullover.
Maybe, did you give him the thing you bought that you can't wear ever again that maybe he could try to return for you?
Oh, my son's working in Nashville, so that was a Christmas present. Left a tag on that thing for him.
There you go. Very smart. All the conversation here, DJ, has been about running backs for whatever reason. And I'm not saying the Seahawks don't need a running back, but Brock wants them to trade up for Jeremiah Love.
I'm the only one. I'm screaming that from the rooftops here, DJ. I'm getting hammered by everybody. That makes no sense. It's the stupidest thing.
To
John
the point
Schneider would
where
never do it.
I tried to put out a video saying that it was a bad idea, and people accused me of just making up a straw man argument because nobody would be so crazy as to suggest trading up for a running back.
My argument is this, DJ. My argument is just simply this. I've heard from multiple people. You said to us last week that Jeremiah is your number 2 running back. You didn't shy away from a Bijan Robinson comp, maybe even a Christian McCaffrey comp. Mr. Fleury, the new OC, comes from San Francisco with Christian McCaffrey. We know what that looks like in this system. And if he's the best player in this draft and he does start to slip because he's a running back, does it make any sense at all for Seattle?
Yeah, first of all, I did see a little bit of Salk's video, and I thought it would look like one of those videos where someone's going to die and they leave, like, open this on your wedding day. Like, this is your dad, and I just want to let you know that I'm thinking of you, and I'll be there with you in spirit. But it was just him talking about not wanting to take a running back. It was a very similar sentiment that I was pulling from that video.
Good.
But, look, I get both arguments, and I think when you're thinking of, like, the long-term sustainability and not parting with resources and let's continue to – build up the trenches. Let's get another interior offensive line. Like all these things, like to kind of, you're thinking about the window and elongating the window. But then there's, to me, like the Brock side of the argument, which is, man, you're ready to go right now. Like, let's just maximize this window. Maybe it's for these next 2 or 3 years where we've got this group together. And this could, if this is a move that helps guarantee us another Super Bowl in the next 2 to 3 years, I mean, I can get on board with that.
Mm-hmm.
Does a move like that guarantee you a Super Bowl in the next 2 or 3
I don't
years?
think I don't think it guarantees, but I think it guarantees you'll have the best roster possible for this next year or 2 years. I think it'll be the most impactful thing you could do for the roster for the next couple of years.
All right.
When you start missing picks, now you'll start seeing that impact as we go into 3 years from now, 4 years from now, then you'll start to feel that.
Well, and as we know, sometimes their picks start contributing pretty quickly. That has not been something I'd ever wanted to count on, but I mean, their top 2 picks from last year were both starters and major players on their team, both Zabel and Eamon. So walk me through, if you're the Seahawks and you need a running back, are you trading up for Love or are you trading back? Bill Barnwell said trade 32 for 39, a third, and a fifth. Are you trying to do something along those lines and then taking someone like Jadarian Price at 39 and going from there? Which is a better fit for this team, this spot, this roster?
If you told me they could just trade out of the first round and get Price, who is my second running back and I really like, I think he's going to be a really good player, I would probably be more in that camp to lean into that. Let's get some extra resources. I still think he's going to be an excellent player. The concern is, when you're trading back, how far do you go back? Because in my opinion, after Price, it is a steep drop off to get to the third running back. So it's just kind of how dangerous of a game do you want to play there? I like the idea of sliding back 3 or 4 spots, just getting a little something extra and then pulling the trigger on him at 35, something like that. You start getting that out towards 40 and around that range, I'd be a little nervous you're going to miss out on that one. And then after him, man, it's just a lot of question marks on the rest of these backs.
Give me DJ's itinerary for the next, what are we, 15 days away from kickoff? What do we got? What do the final couple weeks look like?
So I've got to put the 150 together. So I've got the top 50, then I've got all the players, all the positions, stacked. And now I got to weave that together to come up with the final top 150, which I think I turn that in early next week. So working on that right now. I've been spending a lot of time doing the baseball cards, which is when a guy gets picked and you'll see, hey, they just selected Jadarian Price from Notre Dame. You'll see his face and you'll see 3 nuggets about him, like, hey, he's instinctive, wasn't using the passing game much. And, he's, incredibly toughness, whatever. So I have to put 3 things together for all the players in the draft. So when they get picked, that's kind of the first thing you see, which then rolls into our XO highlight, which we break down with my buddy Ben Fennell. It's been working on those. So it's kind of just putting all that little puzzle together. And then it's a lot of phone calls and sifting through what's real and what's not real. And I have been able to keep track over the years of people you talk to and who you can rely on and who's trying to play you.
Yeah. I get the sense that, and I've learned this from John in these couple of weeks, DJ, at least their process is now it really is medical time. Now really leaning into those guys.
Hold on. Can I just come back to what you just said? Explain what you just said at the very end of that. Are you essentially saying that you are like, what's the word, grading your own sources? Is that?
Oh, it's like keeping a scoreboard.
Yeah.
It's like keeping a scoreboard.
So that you don't get fooled in the future by somebody who's just trying to play you.
Yeah. And some of it is what I've learned is some guys, it's who they don't talk about that's something, there's some news out of who they don't bring up.
Mm-hmm.
The one of the most reliable pieces of information, which you guys, when you've been around the game in the locker room and stuff, you'll appreciate, like, the loosest lips are coaches. So you'll get great information from, like, you could call your 5 sources with the team and be like, try to kind of get a feel for them. And I leave those 5 conversations with nothing. And then I'll call a position coach from another team and go, oh, yeah, I talked to their D-line coach yesterday. Oh, God, he loves this guy, hates that guy. They're not taking him. And I'm like, okay, well, that was actually a pretty useful piece of information. So that's usually one of the wells I go to.
Do the agents try to spin you too?
Yeah, but again, on that one, it's what is the phrase, thou doth protest too much? When you're sending me 95 highlight tapes of your guy 2 weeks before the draft, I feel you might be a little nervous he's slipping. That's usually the
Is the injury that maybe in some ways the hardest thing, the medicals, because it is always so delicate anyway, whether that's HIPAA laws or what is that some of the, when you look back and you're like, oh, I hit on I missed on this guy. Oh, I wonder why. Does it often turn out that the medicals are some of the hardest for you to kind of discover as well?
Yeah, I'll try and do I usually do about 2 to 3 teams, and I'll go through their medical stuff on all these guys. And I'm like, look, I never say anything about anybody's medical. I never say anything about anybody's character. Like I just stay out of that world, but it helps me as slotting the guys and figuring out where they're going to go and ranking them myself. And then also as we're sitting there on the desk, if like, man, everybody expected this guy to go and he hasn't gone yet. That's usually when, the information guys can then run with that as reporters who know the do's and don'ts in that world. So I stay out of it, but it is fascinating when you can call one team, get the rundown of their medical stuff and who is off their board and who they would not be okay with selecting. And then you can talk to another team, be like, yeah, no, we're good. No, we feel fine about it. So it varies from team to team for sure.
Daniel Jeremiah with us 2 weeks before the draft. In addition to running backs, the other two biggest positions of need for the Seahawks are corner and edge. Corner has come up a lot in various mock drafts. I think you've had a couple of different corner options out there for the Seahawks. Who fits with Mike and with the group they already have in the secondary?
Well, I think there's some intriguing guys. I like I'm looking for guys who are a little bit bigger. They're physical, they're tough, they're instinctive. So on the outside, like Chris Johnson plays strong, real physical from San Diego State. I'm a fan of him. Just outside my top 50, which where are they picking here in the second round? They're picking
last
64.
Yeah. They won the Super Bowl, if you remember.
They did win the Super Bowl.
So 32 and 64.
Yeah, 64 and 96, right?
Yeah,
so
they're just right where they should be.
At 64, like I don't know if he gets there. I think he probably goes in the 40s, 50s, but Dalen Everett from Georgia he's a really good player who was really good in big games and sees the field well. He plays big. He probably goes somewhere in the 40s, 50s, but man, if he made it to 64, that'd be a home run pick.
Just out of curiosity, are those the two things they have to do? Like, are there any have-tos for them? Do they need to come away with a corner and a running back, a defensive end? They
got to have a running back. At some point in time, they got to pick a running back for sure. And I would say the edge, they'll add they're going to add an edge. They're going to add a corner. I would think at some point in time they'll add an interior offensive lineman. But again, that goes to your point of if you could trade back a little bit and get some extra picks, that might help you accomplish all those goals.
What about the other two kids in the secondary? Gamecock came in here last year and just transformed the group in Eman Worry, and they've got a safety and they've got a corner that I'm seeing in most top 50s. Either of those guys kind of bring in any way some of the tool bag that Eman Worry does?
I would say it would more be Kilgore than it would be Cisse. Cisse is a real athletic, explosive corner. Kilgore is your kind of nickel safety combination, versatile. He's 210 pounds. He's physical. I have him. I'm looking at where I have him on my list here. Kilgore where is he on here? Oh, I have him in my corner stack. So I have Everett. So I have in my last top 50 or the 150 that'll come out. Pons is number 50, the little corner from Indiana. Then I have Everett from Georgia. And then right underneath him, I have Kilgore from South Carolina. So Everett, Kilgore, that might be one of those deals where maybe one of those guys makes it all the way to 64. I think either one of those would be great picks.
So we spent DJ here with us, as he will be the next couple weeks leading up to the draft and a couple shows after the draft. We spent a lot of time, or at least the narrative has been a lot of time, on what the Rams did to beat the Seahawks. Oh, we got to go Trent McDuffie. We're going to go pay this guy. We're going to go get that. That was our biggest need, right? We couldn't stop the Seahawks. The secondary was a problem. Let's flip this around. We haven't done this yet from a Seahawk perspective because your buddy and our buddy, Peter Schrager, was on with us on Monday, and Salk asked him if maybe McDonald's in McVay's head just a little bit. And he bristled, I would say. He's like, he put up 580 yards and he put up 40 points. I don't think he's the one guy that really solved the Mike McDonald riddle. What did he do, in your opinion, against the Seahawks on that Thursday night NFC title game, that if the Seahawks were to go, let's buttress our needs, our weakness, our voids, and what they exploited against us, who could that be in this draft? What could that look like?
Well, I'll give you a fun one. Kyle Lewis at a Pitt would be someone that could help with what took place in that game, giving you somebody who's is a second-level player with elite cover skills. So you've got another versatile player, but someone who can match up that you're not going to get targeted in the middle of the field.
And he's kind of a tweener, right? I'm going to pause you here for a second.
He's a tweener.
For those that don't know, like some almost look at him as a safety. He's like 6'1", 220, and he can really run, and his fluidity is off the charts. But is he fast enough to be a safety? Is he big enough to be a linebacker? Is he a little bit in between?
Yeah, he's a tweener, but he kind of played as like that hang defender. So kind of walk him out over the slot, and then you'll see him cover in there. You'll see him blitz from there. He's a real dynamic player. And you go to the Senior Bowl, he was the best coverage player, like the non-corner coverage player. So if you took all the safeties and linebackers and just watched them cover, it wasn't even close. Like he was by far the best man cover player. When you pull up his size, and I'll pull it up right here, he was just under 6 foot. He's 220 pounds. He ran 4.53. So, I mean, that's a suitable time for a safety.
So where does he go? Is he a second, third round?
So he's going to go in this. I think day 2, 100% day 2. And again, I would lump him in with that group of players that we were talking about with Everett Kilgore, who are 45 to 65 in that range. And what happens? You end up coming up with a handful of players, and I would add AJ Halsey from LSU into that mix as well. You start coming up with 6, 7, 8 guys. Look, you're not, they're not all going to be there when you pick, but the odds start getting there that, man, one of these guys will be there. And I think all those players would help them with some of that versatility and that ability to cover in that mid-tier level of the field.
So this is a draft where, and you guys have said it over and over again, there's a lot of solid players. There aren't a lot of stars. Okay, I understand that. And then I'm thinking about these, let's call them 3 positions that the Seahawks have the biggest need: corner, edge, and running back. Is there a guy that plays any of those 3 positions, or a few guys, that you would put in the boom or bust category? Like, hey, there is a chance that they are a star. Like, there might be something unbelievable here, but the risk factor is enough that they're not like a person that you'd put in the automatic star category. Are there any real boom or bust options?
Yeah, I would say the corner that I would put in that mix, who kind of plays as the primary nickel there at Miami, is Keontae Scott, who I love his play style because it's just ultra aggressive, and it's aggressive versus the run. He jumps routes like he's a playmaker. He ran extremely fast. He plays with a ton of energy, but there's that fine line, right, between being real aggressive and being a little bit reckless. So he would be the one, if you told me like there was a player that went in the second round that we'll be looking up, a few years from now. He's a little older too, but is there a player like, oh my gosh, how did this guy go in the second round? Much like you experienced last year with Eamon. Or it could be a player a couple of years from now. It's like, gosh, how did they take him in the second round? Like he was reckless and, like that was a reach. But he's one who's got kind of that wide variance of outcomes.
Any edge players that fit that bill?
Oh, absolutely. I think Malachi Lawrence is one of those out of UCF. I really like him. Plays with his hair on fire, but he's just raw. So he doesn't have it all figured out just yet, but he is very toolsy, very twitched up, very
Zion
explosive.
Young from Missouri? He's one that's
he's polarizing. I wouldn't say that he has that high of a ceiling, though. Like, to me, he's a real rugged, physical, tough player. You're going to love him on first and second down. You might want a little bit more on third down. But I feel like he's kind of more a defined guy. I think you kind of, maybe not as high a ceiling, maybe a little bit higher floor. But the other edge guys that kind of have some boom or bust to them, like R. Mason Thomas, I really like him. He's in my top 50, but he's someone who, teams are a little bit split on, but he is he plays with a fastball, man. He gets off the ball.
All right. So
that would be another one.
So help me here, because you've mentioned a bunch of names.
I
raised my hand.
I'm sorry. Well, my hand's still sore from interlocking fingers with you.
Salky and I did the Diana and Vrabel move where we interlocked fingers.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
It was not comfortable at all.
It was awkward.
And Maura, I don't know if you know, has very, very long fingers, so we just couldn't even bring her into the conversation.
You
interlock fingers
I'm
with
a
her.
tall person.
It'd be almost up to your armpit.
Tremendous length.
Very uncomfortable.
Tremendous length.
I'm trying to go through the names. You've given us R. Mason Thomas a couple times, defensive end.
Yep.
You've given us Chris Johnson today, who you thought would be a home run pick for them at corner. And we've talked about Jadarian Price.
Yeah.
Which of those 3 players, if they were the first pick taken by the Seahawks, would be the biggest home run for them?
I will say and it's not. I believe I have. Well, actually, I think I have it that way. I would say both. I would say Jadarian Price. I was going to say how I have it, and in terms of how I have him ranked, and then who I think will have the biggest impact. And I would say Jadarian Price would be that guy.
Wow.
I got to do my. I got.
He's a good player, man.
Yeah.
Like if we looked up next year, and especially with that team, with what they have in place there, and he had a 1,100, 1,200 yard rookie season, that wouldn't shock me. He's really talented.
What goes down? You mentioned you fighting through some of the spin over the next 15 days, and all the sources and all the things that you take in. Is there a little spin with these top 30 visits in your life experience? Have teams used these in some different ways, or how do you evaluate these top 30 final visits?
Well, everybody uses them differently, but I did laugh the other day because I was talking to someone in the media, and they were like, man, the buzz on this guy, he's taken 14 top 30 visits. And I'm like, yeah, he's got a bad knee. Okay. They're bringing him in to look at his knee.
Yes.
It's not going to be the 5th pick in the draft.
Yeah.
So there's some of it is you want to get another medical look at him. You get the medical character guys you want to do more work on. You get some teams look at it as, okay, these are the 7 or 8 guys we think are going to be in the mix for us when we pick. So we want to bring them in, get another point of contact. And then there's some teams that use, smoke screens and bringing in some people while they're out, secretly trying to meet with these guys quietly on their turf so that they don't, they don't raise any alarm bells. But everybody approaches it differently. And the other thing is you'll always see guys, usually every team will allot like 1 or 2 spots for a player they think might be undrafted that they really, really like. And it's almost like we're going to dedicate 1 or 2 of these spots to recruit that kid now.
So many young, innovative GMs, right? The GM picture was hilarious at the owners' meetings, right? There's just so many, right, of such similar background, doing things similar ways. If we were to look right now around the league and we got a chance to pop into the war room of all 32 organizations, how different would the setup in those war rooms, on their boards, and their evaluations be, you think?
Oh, it's wildly different. And in terms of how they stack their players, their process is different. Some teams are done. Like the hay is in the barn, their board is set. Like there's nothing left to be done. Like they are all locked in. Other teams are having meetings right now as they're trying to finalize stuff. Other teams, like when they're on the clock, you'll see some hustling and bustling, and they're still trying to figure out what they're going to do. So everybody has a different process. The order is vastly different. I always tell everybody when I'm talking with the teams, and I'm just messing with them, but I'm like, my job is so much harder than you. I got to show my cards on 150 players. You only have to show your cards on the 6 guys you're going to pick. So everybody's like, golly. I mean, they would be shocked because you've been in a draft room when you're in there, and there'll be a guy go in the first round that they have 4th, 5th round grades on, and they're just like, he's not for us. Like we have him buried. And then you'll see guys in the 5th round that they have high. So it's totally different from team to team.
What is is you maybe tune into the Masters a little bit, having had the experience? What is the hole that you'll look at so differently now on TV after having played it?
What's funny is I guess it would be, so the par 3 is 12, right?
Yes.
So then the par 5 is 13 next.
Yes.
And it has the little creek that runs in front of the green. So I have not been a huge golf fan until recently. So it's like I've watched this tournament every year and I know these holes, like everybody else that plays it, has a feel for it.
Yep.
And I just remember the caddy saying, you don't want to be in the bunkers in the back. Like you don't want to be there. I'm like, okay. So I hit it a little bit short and we're walking down there and we get kind of close and they go, is there water down there? He goes, oh yeah, your ball's wet. And I'm like, nobody wanted to tell me that there was a little water running down there. It's like, have you ever watched the Masters? And I'm like, apparently not.
That's Daniel Jeremiah, who joins us every Wednesday here leading up to the draft and even for a couple of weeks afterwards as we get ourselves ready for what is generally one of the most important days of the year for every team in the NFL. Will it be as big this year for the Seahawks? I don't know. We'll see. You got to get it right. I mean, even if you only have 4 picks and even if this isn't the world's best draft and even if your pick starts at number 32, as DJ apparently forgot, like, hey, this is how you keep and sustain everything. And they have built so successfully through the draft that another opportunity to get that done here in a couple of weeks. Okay, 2 weeks from today, that goes down. Right now, the Mariners have a day off. They get to sit and stew at 4-9 and in last place. Now what? I guess that's the question we'll try to answer together with Brock next. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
Holy smokes, what a play.
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Contractors, equipment buyers, operators, this is the big one you've been waiting for. The huge Marysville Heavy Equipment, Contractors Equipment, and Vehicles online auction. Presented by the Murphy Auction Company. Bidding is underway now and starts closing at 10 a.m. Thursday, April 16th. On the auction block, 11 excavators, including a 2018 Bobcat E85, 3 wheel loaders featuring a 2018 Cat 966M. There's 6 telehandlers and reach mowers from John Deere and New Holland, and lots more, like 2 Vector trucks, 2 Mack CV713 transfer trucks, 11 dump trucks, and 2 2015 Peterbilt 567 roll-off trucks. And then there's over 300 titled items, including pickup trucks, vans, and SUVs. Preview all items at our location in Marysville, April 14th and 15th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Get online and start bidding now at murphyauction.com. murphyauction.com.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day for baseball.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. Case in point, your ticket might be for the view level, but it's more like Skyline City. Up here, it's hard to say what'll take your breath away first. The gorgeous Seattle sunsets or the spectacular views of every incredible play. If you like value with the view, it's the perfect place to take quality time with the family to a whole new level. Literally.
A bases clearing, 3-run double. Everybody on their feet here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
The Mariners' upcoming schedule is jam-packed with epic events. Be here for Ichiro Replica Statue Night tomorrow at 6:40, presented by BDA. Humpy Shoulder Plush Night Saturday at 6:40, thanks to Microsoft. And Randy Johnson Number Retirement Night May 2nd, presented by T-Mobile. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They're not just window and door experts. They're experts at taking care of you and your home. At Pella, they find the products that meet your needs and their experts install them. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Discover why Pella is a trusted choice for homeowners everywhere. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. That's Pella.com/Eisen.
You've said it before. This will only take a second. Just a quick glance. A fast reply. But on the road, seconds don't wait for you. They decide everything. Who stops, who doesn't, who makes it home. So next time your phone lights up, ask yourself, is this distraction worth a ticket or even a life? Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to accuse you of manager.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Oh, man, Brock, it wasn't supposed to be like this.
Salky.
It wasn't supposed to be like this.
Salky.
Don't sulky me.
Hello, my little friend.
That's
this
not
morning.
the line.
How are
That's
you?
not how that works. No, that's not it at all.
That's not close?
No. Well, I mean,
really?
it's close, but I would say it
people laugh
distorts
every
the
time I
meaning.
say that to them. Hello, my little friend.
I think they laugh because it's say hello to my little friend.
Oh, I
Like he's
see.
referring to his machine gun in that particular movie, Scarface. Yeah. Anyway, Brock, 4-9.
Yeah.
5 straight
Worst record in
losses.
baseball. Worst record in baseball. Do you know
Last
that?
place.
Mhm.
Haven't hit. Haven't
No,
done the little
no.
things. Haven't played good baseball. So rather than focus on all of that, because there's a lot. And yesterday you got it again, right? Kind of a not great lineup. We talked about it heading in. Like, whoa, you've got to try to prevent a sweep in Texas, and you're throwing out not just a B lineup, but kind of a C lineup. That was troubling, to say the least. They're facing a lefty who strikes people out, a really difficult matchup for them. And it went about as well as you might have expected yesterday as they end up falling 3-0. You get another huge error and the execution issues and the lack of hit. Like, it all just was summed up in the last 2 days. The games have just been everything that could possibly be wrong with this team we've seen play its way out. So I'm not going to we focused on all that yesterday. Yesterday we went through all of the challenges. Today I'll ask you this question. Now what?
Yeah.
What do you do now?
Yeah.
You're 4-9. You got a day off to regroup, to come home. Shannon told us nothing has felt normal yet, so maybe there's a way to try to start to normalize things, although it's a quick wraparound 4-game series with Houston, and then you head back out on the road to San Diego, so even that schedule is a little bit messed up. So what do you do now? What now for a team that has not played good baseball for the first 2 weeks of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fair question, right? It's what coaches and managers' job is to do, is to fix things. How do we fix this? This is the one challenge with this one, Mike, is we say all the time, like, spring doesn't matter. Spring has nothing to do. Throw the spring numbers out. There's nothing that correlates ever. And actually this year it's correlating tremendously.
Well, it is in terms of record.
The two guys that hit in terms of record, and the two guys that hit in the spring are the two guys that are hitting for you now.
That's true.
I mean, in this case, this year,
that
honestly,
part is true. It's funny.
Brandon
the pitching
Donovan,
was
Cole
your
Young,
big
starting,
problem in the
starting pitching in the spring was fine.
That's true.
All
You're
the
right.
starters did fine. And in this, I mean, they did what they do in the spring. They get themselves ready to go, but none of them even had like blow up games, and they haven't through 13 games. Matt Lovelace put the tweet out last night. This is the best ERA through 13 games in franchise history. And there have been some pretty good pitchers here and some pretty good staffs and rotations, and they've been, all healthy, save for Bryce, obviously, but Emerson has been at the top of that list. They've got an ERA, Salk, through 13 games of 2.62. And I know that's not FIP ERA, and I know it's not popular, and I know that's an
but
old
if you
school
want
number.
to put that one next to the OPS of 581, it's pretty clear where the problems are.
Well, they're
are and where
30th
the
in
success
average,
is.
they're 30th in OPS, they're 30th in on base. They're dead last in all of them, and they're dead last in the standings because of that. But honestly, and very few of the guys all spring hit. Julio and Cal did before the WBC, but then did not at the WBC and did not when they came back, and have certainly not gotten it going. Naylor, I don't even know if he had a hit in the spring, either at the WBC or down in Arizona. So it's been, unfortunately,
it's been
kind
a
of
while.
a hangover
That's fair.
of what was a pretty brutal spring.
That still doesn't answer the question.
Okay, how do you fix it?
Now what?
Probably no more Connor Joe at first base. Right? And now Refsnyder made a hell of a play on right field. It was one of those kind of shake your head like, oh, sure, put him out there and he's going to make a play at the wall.
It is unbelievable. There is that element of you can't predict ball, right? That's the old phrase. And this guy has had a 950 OPS against lefties last year. I mean, he was a really good hitter against lefties. And not just last year, he has been for a while, for 5 years, 6 years. Rob Refsnyder's been one of the better hitters in baseball against lefties. He's 0 for 16. 0 for 16. He's also not a good fielder. He's 35 years old, doesn't run really well anymore. He's never really been a great fielder. And now you throw him out in right field, and you're like, man, hold on to your hat. And guess what? He robs a home run. Yep. So there is an element of anything you say should happen in this game will probably end up going the other way in a short sample size, a small sample size. But I do think the one thing I would like is to lower the expectations for them. It's the biggest thing that has bothered me kind of throughout. I wrote about it, in spring training storylines and saying, okay, how are they going to handle this? They tried to embrace it. They tried to embrace it. Yeah, we don't mind saying World Series. Let's go. We think we're a World Series team. We should say it.
Yep.
I think they should stop saying it. I was never all that comfortable with saying it, and I would not say it because this roster is not a 30th in batting average, 30th in OPS, 30th in on-base percentage kind of roster. It's just
their
not.
baseball card tells you that.
Right. It's just
their track record tells you that. Their level of accomplishment tells you that. I was sitting in a coach's meeting. I love these meetings and try to learn and absorb everything. And confidence comes from true confidence, not arrogance, not pride, but true confidence comes from repeated acts of doing the job well.
Well, they have that.
They have that completely. And experience up and down the whole lineup with that.
So it's not a matter of, oh, my God, Jerry and Justin put together a bad team. That's just not the case. They put together a bunch of guys who've hit and should hit again and probably will. The one big difference for me is that they were embracing the expectations and the use of the word World Series. I don't think that is all that helpful to the modern athlete. You and I have talked about it a lot, and not in regards to the Mariners, and that's why I feel pretty comfortable saying this, that this has been our thought since long before the Mariners started to embrace the phrase World Series. This has been our thought. We've been talking about this for years, Brock, of the challenges for the modern athlete and the modern team in dealing with being on top. It's hard. Yep. It's a lot harder to be on top than it is to be fighting to get there. And I've never felt comfortable with the Mariners saying, yeah, we think we can be on top. I would ignore that. I would just go out there and play baseball and let the chips fall where they may. And if that means you got to embrace a whole bunch of cliches and all that, well, then so be it. But I don't think that it's ever been the right idea to keep saying, yep, we embrace the World Series expectations.
I would totally be on board with you, Salk, if this were like year 2 or year 3. And I guess for Dan, in some ways it is. So maybe I should, get on board with that. But for so many of these guys that have done this for so long and done this job at such a high level, it's confounding. It is truly confounding, right? There is some streaks. There is some peaks and valleys to Julio. There is. And there is some swing and miss in Cal. And there is. But it's like the worst part of all of them is all
at the same time.
Yes, coagulated at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's confounding. So
well, that's why I'm going with the only thing, Brock, that felt different. Everything else felt reasonably the same and has been. The one thing that is different is they kept using the words World Series. Yeah. I would stop using that. I don't see the upside. What is the upside? I mean, you kind of had a choice. I'm not saying I hated it at the moment because I felt uncomfortable with it. But there's only so many options with how you deal with World Series, expectations. Hype. Right? You either embrace it and say it out loud, or you continue to downplay it and say, that's not us. That's not us. It's a new year. It's a new year. But I think I would have done that. Mm-hmm. I think I would have said, you know what? It's a new year. You start all over. You don't get to start on third base. You got to start right back at the beginning. And I think
one of the reasons why when you talk about Titus, I'm like, shush. Enough. I don't need to
because it's early.
Talk about Titus. Because it's so doggone early in this, and I don't need any of rest of that. Hey, man, he's got to, and there's going to be failure, and there's going to be humility, and there's going to be heart. So
I shouldn't talk about your kids anymore and their athletic success?
I would appreciate if you would not. And then, the next time you win a championship up in Canada, the Tex Toys also told you I don't need to go through the coronation of every child. No, there are times and mountaintops to absolutely celebrate.
You're right.
There's 100,000% of that. And you should celebrate that. And you better embrace that because the thing is hard enough that if you can't celebrate the mountaintops.
Especially in baseball.
Oh, my gosh.
Especially in the difficulty of this game.
That's
right.
But
I don't see any. I prefer what Mike McDonald has done with his expectations this year of just saying, yeah, we're not going to do that.
That's right.
We're not going to talk about that. That's just not who we are. We're starting over just like everybody else is.
And if anything, it's going to be harder. If anything, now we're the target of everybody.
And I think that's the direction to go, and just start embracing, being at the bottom.
The good news is
expectations is never a bad idea, Brock.
Yep.
As you know, I watch The West Wing every day.
Yep.
There was a West Wing episode I was watching last night, season 3,
Under promise, over deliver.
Well,
Salk's life motto.
Well, they're being that's for sure. They're being investigated for something, and they say, we're being investigated by somebody who's too nice. Let's flip the script. Let's get that guy out of here. He's way too nice to us. Everybody likes him. He's a good guy. Let's get him out and get the most evil, angry, fire-breathing enemy we can find so we can just go out and play offense rather than playing defense. Mm-hmm. And I do think there's an element of that to the Mariners of enough. Don't worry about Clem Roberts
good news,
anymore.
Honestly, if there was a cleanser to a palate, like a cracker at wine tasting, that team is coming in.
Yes.
Because that team have been the enemy and is still the enemy in so many different ways, and you get them for 4 at home.
They really can't pitch. So either you're going to break out and just destroy the baseball this weekend, or we're going to have a very uncomfortable conversation come Monday. We'll be right back with everything you need to know next.
Rangers shut out the Mariners this afternoon. Offense continues to struggle. Only 2 hits on the day.
A day off comes at the right time. Up next, the Mariners return home looking to end a 5-game skid in the first of 3 against the Astros. Tomorrow night at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame.
That is 12 in a row set down by Emerson Hancock.
Listen live anywhere for free on the Seattle Sports app. One app, every Mariners game.
All right, over 4,000 people here locally have trusted Eastside Weight Loss Clinic as a safe way to lose weight. I know because I'm one of them. You probably know at least one of them as well. We've heard from a lot of you, right? You can lose 20 to 30 pounds in less than 8 weeks. It's what I did, and I lost 10 pounds just in the first week. It is that kind of effective. Eating healthy, fresh foods, all bought at the grocery store. No costly recurring monthly payments for injections or pills, and then reading about scary side effects. No, it's a doctor-developed plan. It's very safe. It works because it's real food, again, that you buy at the grocery store. 15 minutes. That's how long you're going to spend maybe sitting in traffic today. Instead, schedule a consultation at eastsideweightlossklinic.com because the only thing you have to lose is the weight itself. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C., results may vary.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You could file your taxes on a basic free service, which is fine. But are you okay with fine? Because when it's your money on the line, do you really want to guess if you missed a credit or hope the math is right? Get the confidence of TurboTax for free right on the Intuit Credit Karma app. Free Fed and free state for simple 1040s only. Around 37% of filers qualify. See details at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for EITC, CTC, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Hello, Seattle. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America and a member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Quantum fiber internet loves that face.
That's Jamila.
Hey, Jamila.
She's thinking outside the box from inside the box.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi keeps her meeting game strong. From the back door to the front lawn.
Rushing all of the video calls. Back to back to back video calls.
Quantum fiber internet blowing the soxies up all those people in all those boxes. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Additional pods may be needed to achieve Wi-Fi coverage in some locations. Limited availability. Service in select locations only.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Presented by Marquee Data. Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Yeah, it was almost a comedy of errors, but it's not really funny anymore, Brock. Things are getting out of hand for the Mariners as they're now 4-9 on the season. They fall yesterday, and a throwing error on Connor Joe, who was playing first base. It just didn't go well. There was an error there. Ultimately, just 2 hits in the game.
The pitch to Julio, swinging a fly ball into shallow right field. Nimmo coming in toward the line. He is there, and he makes the catch, and the ball game is over. The Rangers shut out the Mariners this afternoon. A final score of 3-0.
Yeah, you just hear it from. I don't want to play any more of that. Rick sounds depressed. Poor Ricky. The offense, as you hear there, is the problem. They're hitting 184. That's dead last. OPSing 581. That's dead last in the majors. And that's not going to get it done even when you pitch as well as they have.
And they pitched phenomenally, record-setting, in fact, franchise best in 50 years. Remember, this is their 50th anniversary, Salky. And in 50 years, the second-best ERA was 2.83 in 2014. I remember that year. Not a lot of hitting that year either. ERA now, 2.62. Best ERA ever through 13 games. Yeah, you're 4-9.
Not
that's
where
hard to
you
do,
want
man.
to be.
That is hard.
It is.
These are always tough stretches for a lot of reasons, and I think that's one of the reasons is that you don't see the results that you want, and it becomes difficult to know what adjustments to make. But I think I know this team in that clubhouse. I know what they're about. They know what they're about, more importantly, and I just know that this is a team that will be back.
It will, and this is also a team, Salt. I'll spin this one other little positive, just from a coaching perspective. That, you know what, boys? Like, we're never going to get too big for our britches. If we win 13 or 14 down the road, which we may, and we've done over the years, guess what's still in us? Guess what could still offensively, as good as we all are, guess what still can be in us, Salt?
It's true.
It's like you on that golf course. I don't care how many birdies and pars you
For
make.
sure.
You know there's a
I know
snowman waiting for you.
I know there's teams in the AL with winning records. The Rockies, as bad as they are, have a better record today than the Blue Jays, Tigers, Astros, Rays, and Red Sox. So it is still,
And I think just swept away the Astros.
I know. Yeah. It is early.
Get out of Coors Field, you losers.
Houston will be in for a 4-game wraparound series. Starts tomorrow. They got the worst ERA in baseball.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Maybe this could knock some of the Mariner frustration off the top of the news. Ron Francis, Hockey Hall of Famer, one of the great players of all time. And he's been in charge of hockey operations since the inception of the Seattle Kraken. That will change at the end of this season as he and the team have reached an agreement for him to step away. That sounds to me like a nice way of firing somebody who's at his level and his stature in the game.
Right.
So this will be the end for Ron Francis, and probably for good reason. We've been saying something needs to change, and it turns out that something will. Now, it's not a full house cleaning, at least not today. GM Jason Botterill will lead hockey operations, so they're not going to move him out. We'll see whether or not they change coaching staff. We'll see whether all their top players and leadership returns. We'll see if they decide to bring in another president above Botterill.
Very difficult question. You want a hard question?
Okay.
I maybe should have teed you up before this, or maybe the guy that we're going to have on in 5 minutes can answer it better than you. Is there a Pete Carroll out there? For Todd Lywicki,
culture changer.
Pete Carroll was the igniter to everything.
I don't know if there's one
Is
like
there
on the
somebody
street.
in hockey
Yeah.
that, well, Pete wasn't on the street either.
Well, then there are. I mean, there are people. They're just not on the street. So the question is there somebody out there you can pry away? And there are people like that. I just don't know which ones might be available. So, yeah, no, that's a question for Greg Wyshinski, who's going to join us coming up here at 7:30. Whoever it does, fall on, Brock, they're going to have to make some serious changes. Because the problem was not just one man. I mean, like, you have a lot to dig out of. So, they get back at it tonight.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
And we're rooting for them to lose out, right?
I would say so, yeah. And you want the Torrent to lose one more. They won last night. You need the Torrent to lose and then lose one more and then start winning so that they can get the number one pick and have their choice of Caroline Harvey or Murphy or whoever it is they want. The Kraken, you would love to find yourself with the number one overall pick, something they've never had, and hopefully
And there's no lottery in the NHL or ping pong balls or jeez.
Yeah, no, of course there is. There is a lottery in the NHL. There's literally a lottery in the NHL. So you would love to find. Well, you say great. You're not going to end up with the top end if there's no lottery. You don't have a chance. I mean, like Vancouver has like 7 points on the year. You actually want the lottery. You just want to give yourself a better chance at it, and then you want to try to draft Gavin McKenna.
I apologize.
All right.
I'm better than that.
2 weeks from today, Brock, will be the NFL draft. Daniel Jeremiah with us yesterday. Asked him for some corners that could fit.
Well, I think there's some intriguing guys. I like I'm looking for guys who are a little bit bigger. They're physical. They're tough. They're instinctive. So on the outside, Chris Johnson plays strong, real physical from San Diego State. I'm a fan of him. Just outside my top 50. Yeah. At 64, I don't know if he gets there. I think he probably goes in the 40s, 50s. But Dalen Everett from Georgia he's a really good player who was really good in big games and sees the field well. He plays big. He probably goes somewhere in the 40s, 50s. But man, if he made it to 64, that'd be a home run pick.
You know what's wild about some of this? I was chatting with someone in college athletics about this. Like these guys, after the second round, they're making, and even into the second round, many times are making less than they made in college. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's still to wrap my mind around that.
Right, that's different. That is different. Masters, Brock, started this morning.
How we doing?
Leaderboard's not too exciting.
Jose Maria Olazabal?
Yeah, he is currently 2 under, along with Sam Burns and Shane Lowry. Max Homa's 1 under. I'm not going to get into all those guys, but the very bottom of the leaderboard, guys who've already lost the Masters. Carlos Ortiz, 7 under through 9.
7 over.
7 over, excuse me, through 9. And this guy, Aldrich Potgieter.
Oh, really?
He's from South Africa.
Yeah.
8 under through 8. 8 over through 8.
Will you get this right?
Sorry. 8 over through 8. It's not. I'm not accustomed to saying over unless I'm talking about myself. 8 over through 8.
8.
He's already lost the Masters.
Oh,
sad for that guy. All right. That is everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. Yeah. Major changes yesterday for the Kraken, but they're not enough on their own. So what else do they do, and how does this work? Greg Wyshinski will join us to give us some answers next on Brock and Salk.
4 down territory. Michael Bumpus answers the top 4 football questions of the day.
Who would you entertain if you can get him for cheap as the Seahawk?
So this dude's been in the league 15 years. He's a big personality. I take a look at Cam Jordan. He had 10.5 sacks last year. If he's still around after this draft is over with, go ahead and take a look at Cam, especially if you're not sure about what's going to happen at your end spots.
Catch every 4 down territory on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at People Come First. I love that acronym, People Come First, PCF Construction Group. Spring really is a perfect time to start planning your dream deck. And man, the weather has been amazing in the Northwest. And right now, PCF is making it easier than ever to get started. 50% off your custom professional design and architectural drawing package. What does that mean? That means you can save over $9,000 on your project. And with 12 months of no interest, no payment financing, you can design your deck now and pay later. Most people who start with a design package end up with the outdoor space they have always wanted, and this offer is your first step. Don't wait until summertime to wish you had started sooner. Do what Molly and I did and get a hold of PCF Construction Group today. Get their project ideas, browse their amazing inventory of photos, and find all the offer details at pcfgroup.com. That's pcfgroup.com. All right.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Our number one thing with them is always like, hey, welcome someone in and assure them that they're in the right place. We're going to take care of them.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Rev up your life at America's Car Museum. Perfect for all ages. It's more than a museum. It's an experience. If you loved Ford versus Ferrari, see the real machines in the birth of the American supercar. Curated by Steve Saleen. Featuring legendary Shelby Cobras and GT40s. Enjoy cruise-ins, drive-ins under the stars, and next-generation race simulators. Grab the family, invite friends, and accelerate the heart rate of fun and learning. Plan your visit today at americascarmuseum.org. You can count on the Seattle Times for local news and information on your teams and your scores. Get inside the game and go beyond the stats with game summaries, player interviews, and play-by-play analysis every day. Read our coverage at seattletimes.com/sports.
Home is more than a place to live. It's where the best of life unfolds, where possibility sparks, where community grows, where lives take shape. At the Master Builders Association of King and Snohomish Counties, that belief drives the work our builders, remodelers, and tradespeople do every day. Because when we build more homes, we're building so much more than housing. We're making room for what matters most. Learn more at roomforwhatmatters.com.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Buc-ee's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history, all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Buc-ee's makes auto care simple. Visit Buc-ee's.com today and drive with confidence. Buc-ee's.com.
Don't miss the John Schneider Show, presented by Silver City Brewery.
I truly believe defense wins championships.
Thursdays at 4, only on Seattle Sports.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JP Morgan Chase Bank, and a member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Dave Wyman here to talk about a revolutionary treatment for prostate cancer. It's Swedish, called CyberKnife. I want to bring in Dr. Meyer, medical director of the Swedish Radiosurgery Center, with the most experienced prostate cancer treatment team in the Northwest. Dr. Meyer, what makes Swedish CyberKnife so effective?
The CyberKnife allows us to target prostate cancer with better than a millimeter of accuracy. It adjusts for patient motion on the fly in real time, and it avoids giving radiation to other surrounding vital organs. Plus, the treatment can be done in just 5 quick sessions.
I understand it's the most technologically advanced treatment available.
Correct. Plus, the CyberKnife is more affordable, it's less invasive, and has minimal side effects compared to other treatments. Our research shows that after 10 years, more than 90% of patients are free from cancer progression.
To learn more about CyberKnife for prostate cancer, go to swedish.org/CyberKnife-prostate, or just give them a call, 206-320-7187.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We can get back to the hand-wringing over the Mariners at 8:30 as we will talk to Aaron Goldsmith then. But we have other hand-wringing to do because the Kraken have really embarrassed themselves here over the last couple of weeks since the Olympic break. And yesterday they took some level of action, finally moving on from Ron Francis. They are parting ways amicably, but I think that's what you do when you're doing it with a former player of his stature. So Greg Wyshinski from ESPN, senior hockey writer, you may know him as Puck Daddy, joining us now. Good morning, Greg. It was bound to happen, but why did it happen now?
Boy, you guys are really down on a team that's still mathematically alive for a playoff spot,
Greg,
baby.
Greg,
Yeah.
don't start with us down there. Don't do that, Greg. Don't do that, Puck Daddy.
We've actually, we've been watching. It's not good.
Yeah, it's going to be over tonight, probably, based on what other teams do. But you know, listen, we tried to warn you. Ron Francis had 8 years in Carolina as either, director of hockey, of player personnel, general manager, then president of hockey operations. And they never made the playoffs in any of those 8 years. And the teams had the same kind of DNA over and over again. They were middling. They were not star-laden. They didn't make bold moves at the trade deadline to change the configuration of their roster to get over the hump. They were very average. And I mean, the fact of the matter is that while Ron Francis, was hired to build the Kraken organization, the next 5 seasons outside of one were exactly what he had in Carolina, non-playoff teams that were extremely average and in some cases nondescript.
So twofold. Why then did he get the job from Todd Leiweke in the organization? And B, how has he left it?
It's a great question. When he was initially hired, it was sort of interesting because I do think that there was some respect put on the way that he ran the organization in Carolina. Like, the idea that you're looking for someone to build your organization, because it wasn't simply just a player personnel thing, right? It was, we gotta build an analytics department. We've got to go and build, a minor league system. And there were some parts of the Hurricanes that he was responsible for that I think gave ownership a little bit of faith that he'd be, pretty good at it, with an expansion team. But it's the on-ice results that just, make you scratch your head as to why they went down that road. Now, granted, as everyone listening knows, they weren't helped by the expansion draft in the same way that Vegas was, because, it was the same rules, but everyone caught wise as to what they needed to do to not get fleeced like Vegas did. And unfortunately, that hindered Seattle's opportunity to get off the blocks in a big way. But in the next, 5 years after the expansion draft, it's just been middle of the road moves. And again, a lack of discernible personality for the team, a lack of direction for the team. No real star player to kind of like hitch your wagon to. It's a little bit of that is draft luck and other things, but it's been frustrating.
Yeah, we were going through the number of players that they've acquired that have exceeded expectations during the 5 years versus the number of players that have not met expectations. And essentially the list comes down to like Ellie Tolvanen, Joey Decord, and kind of Jared McCann. And that's it. Like after that, and I could give you we don't have enough time in the interview to go through the guys on the other side of that ledger. So I think that part we understand. What I don't fully get is why the two-stepped process where last year he moved up to president and out of hockey ops and now he's moving out altogether. Was there some level of awkwardness between him and Botterill over the last year? Did one of them like the coach and not like the why did the process go like this?
Well, I mean, I think the process went like this, one, because the organization obviously has a ton of respect for Ron Francis. I think you can see that in the way that they kid-gloved his dismissal, where it's a mutual parting of ways and he's stepping down, and it's not like we're firing him, which is essentially what they're doing. It's a very sort of soft landing thing for a guy that I think that they respect. And, typically in hockey, this is kind of how things work, right? It's, you look at Detroit right now, for example, there's a lot of speculation that with the Red Wings missing the playoffs again, that it could be the end of Steve Yzerman, but nobody expects the Detroit Red Wings to fire Steve Yzerman. He'll probably just get a cushy role in the front office. It's just kind of how it works. In Botterill's case, I was calling around last night after this news broke, and the sense that I get is that, he's going to have now the full run of the organization. It's his gig. I don't think there's going to be anybody above him moving forward. I think he's going to, adopt all of Francis's responsibilities once Ronnie leaves at the end of the regular season. And so then when you think about that, is that the organization saying we've got to clear the road for this guy because we believe in his vision? Is that Botterill saying you need to clear the road for me because I've got a vision? It's tough to glean that without hearing from the team, and obviously we'll do that I think today. But it is an interesting thing when you see a guy that worked under Ron Francis be the survivor in this situation as Ron Francis is no longer part of the organization.
Greg, I'm not going to pretend to know anything on a grand scale in a big picture when it comes to hockey and its executives and its difference makers. But I do know Todd Leiweke really well, decades old, going back to the Seahawks. And Todd was not a middle-of-the-road guy. Todd takes risks. Todd's big swings. Todd brought in Pete Carroll when he was under contract at USC, and Jim Mora was just finishing year one as the coach in waiting at that point. It was the biggest, boldest, best move that the organization ever made. Todd is willing to swing for the fences. Is there a swing for the fences guy? Is the respect of Botterill around the league is such that, give him the keys and let him go? What do you expect Todd Leiweke to do from the seat he's in?
First of all, I pretend every day to know the landscape of hockey. So, I mean,
nice job.
You're not alone.
You're puck daddy. Okay, you're puck daddy.
I've known Jason for a while. I covered him when he was an assistant in Pittsburgh, where he learned under some really smart people. And then he ran the ship in Buffalo at a time when, Buffalo was not a playoff contender as they are now. And some of the moves he made there were a bit specious, but there were some big swings. And so, he's put in the time. He's one of these guys that I think has worked under some really successful executives, including in Vegas. And he certainly cut his teeth under Ron Francis in Seattle, knows the organization. I have more faith in him to maybe be the guy to successfully take some big swings with the organization than I would with some of the other candidates you might want to, bring in for a GM or president of hockey operations that I think are in the retread category. He's always struck me as a guy with a vision, and I've been eager to see what he could do with better resources and better ownership support, which he didn't have in Buffalo. I mean, that being said, we haven't talked about sort of what I think is the elephant in the room, which is this team really needs to start moving ahead and be a contender and plant its flag as far as like what it is, as far as the personality of the team, as far as the young star players that become beloved figures. And again, like what do you do with the Shane Wright situation where you have a high draft pick and it doesn't necessarily manifest in the way that you expect it to? That happens. But the ticking clock on this is obviously the Sonics, and this market getting even more crowded than it is, and so not to keep on bringing up Vegas, but the genius of Vegas was they were first to market. And when the Raiders showed up and when the NBA shows up and when Major League Baseball shows up, there is a diehard take my money fan base in Vegas that will continue to support the Knights no matter what. And I think that as the market in Seattle gets even more crowded, it's imperative for the Kraken to not only plant their flag and get a star player or two that you can buy their jerseys, but also just like contend every year and be relevant.
Well, and Utah's obviously in that same boat too, right? Where, they show up from Arizona almost fully formed.
Right.
Well, I mean, they didn't have the Zamoth yet. Now they do. So obviously they're fully formed, but
they go from a coyote to a mammoth. So
it obviously
was a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a big evolution.
In Animorph or Pokemon territory, that's quite an evolution. But but that's a good point, though. I'm glad you brought up Utah because again, that was sort of an unfair advantage for this new franchise to have all these baked in young players.
Yeah.
But there's nobody on the Kraken roster that gives you the goosebumps like Logan Cooley does or Dylan Gunther does. Like they've got Clayton Keller. Like they've got legitimate young star players that everybody in that town now knows by name. And again, it's not to say that the Kraken don't have robust support or that the organization is failing or anything, but 5 years of treading water with only one playoff series victory, and it was a hell of a win, but it's only one. It really does beg for this moment for Jason Botterill and ownership to hunker down and figure out what the right path is.
Okay.
And frankly, I took a lot of grief when I said the right path was to tank and to tear it down. And Kraken fans kind of came at me because they're like, well, we're contending. I'm like, okay, but that's fine. You're contending to be grist for the mill in the first round by being a wild card team. Like I've said for the last couple of years, the right path for this team is to tear it down, be bad for a few years and cycle back.
Well, so let's talk through what that looks like. Two questions, I guess, that have to be kind of put together. One is Lane Lambert the guy? Was he Ron Francis's guy or is he Botterill's guy? Do we expect him back next year?
That's a great question. I mean, this is a Lane Lambert team in every sense. I think that they've shown some times where they've been pretty good defensively. I think that his coaching style has helped foster really good goaltending at times. We saw the same thing with him with the Islanders. Offensively, he's not your guy. And I think the real question is whether in 2026 in the National Hockey League, when you constantly see these teams that are offensively oriented thriving, do you need someone who maybe meets that moment better than Lane Lambert does? I like him. I actually think he's done a pretty good job this year keeping the Kraken in the fight behind the bench. And I know there's a lot of people around the league that respect him, but I think it just speaks to what do you want this organization to be? And does Lane Lambert's coaching style grok with what Jason Botterill wants to see on the ice?
All right. Well, then the next part of it is, as you said, you got to have some star power, whether you're tearing it down or not. And it does seem, look, I like a lot of the guys at the top of this organizational, of the roster, I should say. Like, I like Jordan Eberle. I don't know if he should be a captain and best player on a team. I like Jared McCann. I like all these guys as second and third line wingers and centers. But where do you go get that guy? Is it, do you have a chance? And is Gavin McKenna that guy if you end up with the number one overall pick? You weren't able to get Matthews. You weren't able to get any of the other big names that have moved around in the last couple of years. Is there another one this offseason? Or are you stuck just sort of in wait and hope mode again?
Well, I mean, they took their swing for Panarin, which obviously would have been a pretty pretty huge name to put on the roster. It didn't work out, but at least they took the swing. Mm-hmm. I think you answered your own question, which is, first of all, that the Kraken do have good players, but I think they're complementary players. Like, throw Jordan Eberle or Jaden Schwartz on a contending team, and I think they can really contribute. But I don't think that necessarily they're the ones that you want their names on the marquee, or that you expect them to move heaven and earth to make the playoffs for your team. The only way you get that kind of player is through the draft, especially now in the NHL, where the cap is exponentially going up every season, to the point where these teams are no longer pressured to, trade a good young player because they can't afford them. Like, everybody can afford their guys now. So there's no pressure points now for trying to get one of those players from another team, because ultimately the teams will just keep them around. So we're aligned. I think that the only way you can get these impact players is through the draft, and the only way that you can get them in the draft is to be terrible. That's just the way of the world in the National Hockey League.
That's projected to be number one. McKenna, is he that kind of dude?
He's great. Yeah, I think he's a star, and I think he's got swagger too, which, if you look around the league, I think good young players with swagger are coin of the realm right now. Look no further than the guy who scored the game-winning goal in the Olympics for the USA. Like, that's a marketable guy. Like, that's a guy that can energize your franchise. And I'm not saying McKenna's Jack Hughes, but I am saying McKenna's a special player, and he certainly has a little bit of swagger to him. But whether it's McKenna or any of the top four guys in this draft, or looking ahead to other drafts, it's a tough pill to swallow, and it's kind of antithetical to my previous statement of saying they've got to be good and plant their flag in the market because time's ticking until the Sonics come back. But when you really look at how teams build winners and sustain winners and create excitement and create star players, it's the same cycle, whether it's Edmonton getting McDavid, whether it's Toronto getting Matthews, or the Devils getting Hughes. Like, you got to be bad, and then you get good. And that's just how it is in the NHL. And I think the problem for Seattle is that they've been not bad enough, and they certainly haven't been good enough.
Well, I don't want to say it's antithetical to the nickname, because that would be very judgmental of me to say that someone nicknamed Puck Daddy wouldn't have the thesaurus that you do. But you've dropped anamorph and specious on us on top of antithetical.
He's a friend of Passon's, Brock.
Is that what it is?
He's a friend of Jeff's.
I mean, poor Lyle is over there like, is
Lyle
this
doesn't
Canadian?
know what any of that means.
What is he speaking right now? I've never heard of
He's a
these
friend
words.
of Jeff's.
Jeff and I knew each other. Yeah, we worked together at Yahoo, and now we're both at ESPN.
I see.
He can wear a suit much better than me. I can tell you that right now. But,
Jeff's a regular guest every week on this show,
yeah,
so Brock actually knows Jeff.
Yeah, we both have a lot of 10-cent words in our arsenal. So I mean, that's how it is.
I wish one of those 10-cent words was like Celebrini or somebody like that was going to be on their way to Seattle. But right now it doesn't seem that way. So I guess
great point.
We're left with specious.
Look no further than the Sharks. I mean, Celebrini, Will Smith, Eklund, like all these guys. Chicago with Bedard. You can't spend 5 years just treading water and then eventually drowning. Like, you got to figure out what you want to be, and they've chosen to be middling for 5 years, and that's not how you build a winner in this league.
Greg, thank you. Appreciate the time here on short notice today. I told you he was a good guest, Brock. I wouldn't mess you around.
Great guest. Well done.
Greg, thank you. We appreciate it. We'll talk again.
Thanks for having me.
There you go. Greg Wyshinski, Puck Daddy, of course, and now with ESPN after years at Yahoo. I told you you'd like him. Yeah, he's really good. I really
liked him, man.
Yeah, he's really. Most of the hockey guests out there are pretty good because they're
most of them have opinions like that.
Yes. They're pretty willing to talk about what they're
most
really
baseball
seeing.
Guys don't do that.
It's
right?
not the same.
No.
And
the Adam Schefters, the Rappaports, the reporters don't really.
No,
have
there's too
that.
much on the line for those guys. They can't do any of that. The hockey guys are pretty opinionated. They really are.
Salka, you missed your calling. You missed.
Oh, dude, I love this sport. I really do, and I love talking to all those guys. Yeah, he makes it fun. All right, there you go. Greg Wyshinski with the latest right now. Some Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
We're going to go red, right, tight, close, sprint left, G, U corner, halfback, flat, on one. Ready?
Brock Heward tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
Blue 88.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, Brock, give me some Seahawks that have a lot to gain this offseason.
Yeah, going to be a balancing act with many of these veterans. That's kind of the conversation here in April. The Seahawks are still a week from Monday. The draft is 2 weeks from today. The boys are a week from Monday from beginning phase 1 of it. And there's going to be some guys, the DeMarcus Lawrences, the Cooper Kupps, the Leonard Williams, Chenna Nwosu, like a lot of guys that you're going to take, Ernest Jones, you're going to take care of this offseason. And we already know even some young guys like Torrey Horton won't be a part of it. But I'll give you 3 guys that I think can maximize developmentally this offseason to put themselves in a bigger role in 2026. And that starts with the tight end. That starts with Elijah Arroyo. And you're already seeing it. I love following these guys and watching what they're doing, even in these periods before they get back to the team with their trainers. He's down in Florida. He's getting after it. We see all the Abe Lucas videos and have for years. He's getting after it. But I bet you that guy, while unbelievably thrilled to have won a Super Bowl and will love his ring, and I'm sure has had so many of his buddies, ex-teammates and everything, like, you're a Super Bowl winner. I think there's a part of him that's like, yeah, I was, but I wasn't Gray Zabel. And I wasn't Nicky Memori. And I wasn't even in some ways Robbie Oots or some of the other guys. Like, no, I got banged up and it just never got put together the way I think he visioned it could. And he's got too much skill. So I bet you we're going to hear about him. You're going to see him at OTAs and into training camp like, whoa, Arroyo is moving. He is going. He wants a bigger piece of the action, and A.J. Barner's going to be hard to strip it from, but I think he really develops. Bryce Cable I would put on that list. I did profile a guard, and the text toy said, I don't think so. We got 13 guys. They all came back on the line of scrimmage. You're right, in the offensive line. But that guy showed flashes last year in the preseason, and he's got a lot of game. He's got a lot of game to him. And if they draft an interior offensive lineman in the first 3 rounds, maybe I'll change my opinion. But I think he's going to push Bradford a whole lot more than he did a year ago. And then lastly, one of these edge guys, whether it's Ivy, whether it's O'Toole, Jamie, Sheriff, one of those guys, and I'll land on O'Toole. He's toolsy. He's very, very fast. Ivy's even got more measurables and tools. But I'm going to land on Connor O'Toole. Those 3 guys, O'Toole, Cable Elijah Arroyo, those will be guys I'll be watching their name and their play over this offseason.
All right, question number 2. So Daniel Jeremiah, I thought, was pretty clear yesterday that he felt like the Seahawks have to in the draft, and that was to take a running back.
I mean, they got to have a running back. I mean, at some point in time, they got to pick a running back for sure. And I would say the edge, they're going to add an edge. They're going to add a corner. I mean, I would think at some point in time they'll add an interior offensive lineman. But again, that goes to your point of if you could trade back a little bit and get some extra picks, that might help you accomplish all those goals.
Is that a have to?
I would agree, but again, from an acquisitional standpoint, I don't know if that's the 7 rounds of the draft because it's not the way that John and their staff look at it. And in this draft in particular, is there that much difference between a 5th rounder and an undrafted guy you're really targeting? Maybe not from a grade and evaluation standpoint. They will absolutely, either through the draft or I think a priority undrafted free agent at a running back. And I think you said this earlier in the week, and you're right. It's probably a running back with a little different skill set. I got the big physical guy in Holani. Right? I got an even bigger guy from Green Bay. In McIntosh, I don't know fully what I got, and I don't know how active he'll be. He could be on my list of a developmental guy this offseason if he can get healthy. But, yeah, you're going to need some explosion. That room needs an added burst, not named Velus Jones, of even more explosion. And I would agree with DJ. That's coming in the acquisition phase. I would bet in the draft, but most assuredly between the draft and a priority undrafted free agent.
All right, question number 3. We talked through the Seahawks needing more impact or always wanting more impact along the line of scrimmage on defense. What's the market look like there?
Yeah, the market actually, we keep playing that little promo of Michael Bumpus talking about, Cam down
Jordan.
there. Cam Jordan from New Orleans, a 15-year guy, a lot of tread off those tires. In the
10.5 sacks last year or something.
He did. He absolutely did. And Von Miller got 8 sacks and those guys. But I think here's the key to that. If those guys can still kind of rush the passer, you have to stop the run. My buddy Mike Tice, his son Nate Tice, does some good stuff on Twitter and social realms. Tweeted this the other day, I guess about a week ago. NFL offenses ran the ball, Salk, at the highest rate in 15 years. NFL offenses ran the ball at 41%, the highest rushing success rate on running back runs since 2004. So not only did they run at the highest rate since 2011, but they also ran at the highest rushing success rate on running back runs in over 20 years. Obviously, we know the move to the 3 tight ends and everything else. So that's kind of the catch-22, I think, with some of these veterans. And that's where a Uchenna and a DeMarcus Lawrence, even as veterans, were so good at also playing the run.
Yeah.
That's where these guys, the Clownies and the Vaughns and the...
Well, but you may not be using them in that role. I mean, maybe you're using them more in a third-round role.
That's right, but that's also where third-down runs have gone up and are off the charts. No, they are. That I think he even put that number out
but
there
like
as well.
third and sevens. I mean, like, you know, you're looking.
It was
for
also the
somebody to kinda
highest
do
rate
that.
of snaps with 6 linemen since 2016, and running the ball on third down and 3+ at the highest rate ever since those stats have been measured.
I like to hear that. You know, I'm a big runner on third down guy. Love it. All right, that is today's Blue 88. You want the Kraken to tear it all down? I mean, that sounds hard,
the Mariners did.
They did?
They did.
Took a while. The problem is, even in the, I appreciate what he's saying,
They
but in
did,
the
but
NHL.
they did it. When did they do it? In 2019, 2020? How many years into it was that? With
We're now 7 years in. I mean, like, yeah, it takes a while.
With the Kraken?
No, with the
you're talking about the Mariners coming out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
but
takes
they were
a while.
never. It does, but they were never like awful.
No.
And I think with the, the resources spent off of the ice.
Here's the problem, Brock. Here's the problem. In order to all of the players he mentioned were number 1 overall picks. Connor Bedard, Macklin Celebrini, Connor McDavid, like all those guys are number 1 overall picks. The draft, and it's not to say you can't hit on a star at number 2 or 3 or 4, but that's where we've seen Matty Beniers and Shane Wright. There's a difference between number 3 and number 1. And then sometimes even number 1 doesn't matter much because it's not the guy. It's not the right year for it, where like these generational players come along and they're just, they don't happen every day. So there's so much, I think, it's more like the NBA draft where there's so much more luck. Like, did you happen to have the right pick in the right year where you get the LeBron James or the Connor McDavid? Or do you end up with a Matty Beniers? He's a good player, but is not going to change your franchise fortune. So it's a really tough spot for them to be in. I don't know that I have the right answer today. We're going to have to sit and think about this a little bit more. In the meantime, we'll listen to some of the messages you've left us. And here's the thing. It's next on Brock and Salk.
He built the Seahawks into the 2025 Super Bowl champions.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
And every Thursday afternoon at 4, he's on Seattle Sports.
I mean, we have higher expectations for ourselves.
It's the John Schneider Show, presented by Silver City Brewery. 2025 NFL Executive of the Year, John Schneider.
I think it's the ultimate organizational award.
Every Thursday at 4, exclusively on the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Well, on this beautiful Thursday morning, and you're 62 or older, and you hear my voice this morning, you got lots of equity in your place, and you want to pull some cash out, but you really don't want to refinance or a HELOC, meaning a bigger payment, and the cost of selling your home, you don't want to go through that either. What should you do? Well, Brock Heward here for my friends at Tila Mortgage. You don't need to live at a lower standard than you deserve, I'll tell you that. And to me, you got kind of 3 play calls. Number 1, you can go sell your home. You can, number 2, go get a HELOC or refinance. Or number 3, dig into a reverse mortgage. Tila's done the analysis, and they believe the reverse mortgage is the most cost-effective way for seniors to get cash out of their home without ever selling and then having the option of no monthly mortgage payment. Too good to be true? I don't think so. Give Tila a call today and compare. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you could trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. And they're ready for your call. 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888. Insurance and property taxes, borrower's responsibility. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
The best path at that point was to stop for the night, and you go home and take a breath. She came back in the morning and bought the car. She was way happier.
The LJ Way.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Buc-ee's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history, all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Buc-ee's makes auto care simple. Visit Buc-ee's.com today and drive with confidence. Buc-ee's.com.
It's funny how you get used to things in not so ideal condition around the house. It's Dave Wyman here, and for me, it was old windows. After 20 years in our home, virtually every window had a broken seal. We got used to cold drafts, outside noises, and condensation. And if you're in the same boat, use this spring to say goodbye to the old, dreary windows and hello to your new exclusive windows from Harley Exteriors. Right now, they're having a spring cleaning sale to complete your home makeover. If you buy 10 windows, you can choose between 20% off your entire project or get a free door. On top of that, make 0 payments and accumulate 0 interest for up to 12 months for qualified buyers. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade, manufactured right here in the Pacific Northwest and exclusive to Harley Exteriors. Call 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com. Schedule your free consultation today at harleyexteriors.com.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Visit America's Car Museum now, where history roars to life. If you loved Ford versus Ferrari, see Shelby Cobras and GT40s in the birth of the American supercar. Cruise-ins, drive-ins, race simulators, fun for all ages. Plan today at americascarmuseum.org.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday.
All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000.
Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma Money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get in the freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, we move it along here, Brock. Let's see. Aaron Goldsmith's going to join us in 30 minutes, so we will get back to the Mariners. We've taken a little break. We've decided that since they get a day off, we get part of a day off as well. So we've taken a little break from talking about some of the frustration of where they're at. 4-9 start the year, very frustrating for sure. But you guys have been leaving us messages all throughout the week on the Seattle Sports app, and we call it Here's the Thing.
Brock Heward doesn't just hate one kid.
I am so disappointed in Michael Salk.
You don't know what you're talking about. You're mindless. Love you, bye.
It's time for Brock and Salk's Here's the Thing.
Okay, here's the thing.
You ready for these today?
I think so.
I think you might need them.
I think we all need
All right, let's get right to it.
So here's the thing. I am married to a Canadian.
Okay.
I lived in Vancouver for 10 years. I am listening to Salk say that Smarties are a better version of M&Ms, and it's just heresy. I cannot stand to hear that. They are not. Canadian chocolate overall is better than American chocolate. It pains me to say that, but it is the truth. But saying Smarties are a better version of M&Ms is like saying that the Toronto Blue Jays are a better version of the Mariners.
Well, last year they were. I want to be clear. I'm not saying that. I'd like to clear my name here, Brock. I've never had a Canadian Smarties. So I don't know. I was told that it's not just hearsay. It is literally...
So
it's not heresy, it's hearsay. I think is the right way to say it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've not had them. I was told they were like a better M&M.
Right.
So
Brent Stecker.
Yeah.
Who loves Canada, Canadian.
He's a Canadian.
He writes for our website.
Yeah.
He brought some in once. I just thought they were like a smaller, more compact, from what I remember, more compact version of
an M&M.
Like a regular M&M. Yeah.
I haven't had them, so I'm not speaking one way or another. That's what I was told.
You know what Brent is? He's an Afraidian.
He sure is.
Canadian in part, afraid of boy.
Canadian Afraidian.
Here's the thing. If baseball can't figure out if they need to overcall a play or not, or if the person was safe or not safe, they can't figure out a replay in 30 seconds, then just make it stand. I don't need to stay here for 3 minutes to figure out if Julio was safe or not, or if Randy was hit or not. Just let it stand. If it's not so apparent that in 30 seconds you can't figure it out, you got to look at it for 2.5 minutes, then it should just stand. It's baseball. Gray area.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you know what, Cam? I heard that like 15 years ago when I went to the Replay Review Convention in Chicago, Illinois, with a group of all of the replay officials in college football. And Dean Blandino, of all people, said the exact same thing. Like, if this takes more than 30 seconds, what are we doing?
Yeah, the only reason I think it can take longer is like you have to look at all the angles.
You got to look at all the different views.
I think that's the one thing. So I don't know if it's like necessarily a time limit thing, but if you're not sure, then just move it along. I'm with you on that. I agree.
Good job, Cam.
Here's Billy.
The slow start is my fault. I bought a Cal Raleigh jersey and a hat right at the opening day.
Ugh.
Happens to me all the time.
Oh, man. Poor Billy.
Eeyore.
Jeez.
That's so sad.
All the other animals are having fun but me. Well, that was Alex, right, a couple of weeks ago, who left us that sad voicemail about getting dumped on Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Thankfully, he's back, Brock. Maybe this will be more positive.
Here's the thing. The last time I left you guys a voicemail is when I said that my girlfriend dumped me on Valentine's Day, and I was whining and crying like a little Oregon Ducks fan whose team can't win a national championship. Oh, my arm hurts. Well, guess what, gentlemen? Here's the thing. This Friday, I'm going to the Mariners game with a beautiful, vivacious young lady. Beautiful woman. And I could not be more happy. The A train may have been temporarily suspended, but it is back. It has left the station, and it is ready to go.
Wow.
Thank you guys for being amazing. Thank you guys for being awesome. And go M's. Go M's. Let's get this thing rolling, huh?
Did we have something to do with the A train being back in service?
Yeah, absolutely, Salk. Words have power. Haven't we learned anything from Mike McDonald, Pete Carroll?
I guess.
We empowered that guy. We loved into him. We built it.
I don't remember doing that.
We got some text that said, why would you put that message in there when I shared his sad one? But now we can cheer him on for his victories, too.
We called him Humpty Dumpty. He was a broken man.
Right.
We put him back together. And by we, I mean all of us.
I thought that was going towards, I'm going to a game with a beautiful woman. It's my dog. And it's like, I thought it was going to be like a bark at the park night thing. Good on Alex. All right. Well, keep us updated, buddy. Keep us updated. We're all invested.
Here's the thing. This is Stan
and Nancy
from Victoria. What's with the Mariners slump-dee-dum? When will they get over the hump-dee-dum? The team will start soaring once they can start scoring more than just one run-dee-dum. Go M's!
I love them.
More of that's right up your alley.
I so love them.
Yeah, I do too.
Don't they have? They have a pattern couch.
They got great harmony.
They do.
They really they hit those notes together.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Sid and Nancy. That's Stan and Nancy. Big difference. We'll finish it up with Luke.
Here's the thing. New rule. When Jeff Passan is on, Brock doesn't get to talk anymore.
Yeah.
Mute his mic.
Sure.
Because for 2 weeks in a row, he's been about to answer a follow-up question or make a second point, and Brock has interrupted him to make a dumb joke or ramble on, and we never get back to what Jeff has to say. Be better. Be better.
I'll be better.
Please, Brock, be better.
I'll be better.
I was gonna say the same thing, but I'm glad Luke said it instead of me.
Using your own words against you.
Yeah. Luke's actually a friend of mine. I had him leave the message so that somebody else could tell Brock instead of me.
That's my little brother Luke Heward. He's the one who can give me that kind of
Luke would definitely have no problems telling you that. Yeah.
Yep, I would agree with that.
All right, if you'd like to leave us a message for Here's the Thing, you got to download the Seattle Sports app. Super easy to do, and you can catch every game there as well. All the shows on demand, live, the whole deal, all the news, all the writing from Seattle Sports. It's all there on the Seattle Sports app.
I know what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to ask Goldie who his gold, silver, and bronze medalist strugglist is. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I'll get mad about that one.
No.
I'll be honest. When I texted him yesterday, I asked, "Can you come on at 8:30 with Brock and Salk?" And then I said, "I'll tell Brock not to be weird."
Yep.
So this is me telling you, Brock.
You could tell Brock not to be weird. It doesn't mean it's going to make it so. Aaron Goldsmith will join us in 20, and we will address the Mariners' struggles with him. That's coming up on Brock and Salk.
4 Down Territory. Michael Bumpus answers the top 4 football questions of the day.
Who would you entertain if you can get him for cheap as the Seahawk?
So this dude's been in the league 15 years. He's a big personality. I take a look at Cam Jordan. He had 10.5 sacks last year. If he's still around after this draft is over with, go ahead and take a look at Cam, especially if you're not sure about what's going to happen at your end spots.
Catch every 4 Down Territory on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here for my friends at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. And Mother's Day, just about a month away. Why not celebrate Mom with Mother's Day weekend giveaway at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel? You could win one of 100 designer handbags. They're filled up with prizes. That's Saturday, May 9th and Sunday, May 10th. And don't forget, book a stay overnight. It's so much fun. It is a beautiful new hotel, the pool, the whole deal. Elevate your next getaway, combining effortless style with the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com for details. It is Seattle's closest Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
2 years ago, my office launched a major media campaign to identify key witness to our client's bicycle accident, which we later settled for $10 million. Because when we accept a case, we don't rest until we do everything possible to improve our client's chance of recovery. We're one of only a few firms in the state with an in-house investigation team building our clients' cases. So when you hire Davis Law Group, you don't just get a dedicated and award-winning legal team. You get our commitment to better service and even better results. Request a free consultation today at 206-888-8888.
Meet the company electrifying the marine industry. ARC, a fully electric boat that feels like a luxury EV. Significantly less maintenance and service, ARC is built to be as easy to operate as it is to maintain. Featuring heated seats and seat backs, a large display, easy handling, and impressive kick. You have to see it and experience ARC for yourself. Book a demo. They'll pick you up on Lake Washington, Lake Union, or Lake Sammamish if you can't come to them in Kirkland. Go to arcboats.com/demo. ARC. You have to see it to believe it.
Contractors, equipment buyers, operators, this is the big one you've been waiting for. The huge Marysville Heavy Equipment, Contractors Equipment, and Vehicles online auction. Presented by the Murphy Auction Company. Bidding is underway now and starts closing at 10 a.m. Thursday, April 16th. On the auction block, 11 excavators, including a 2018 Bobcat E85, 3 wheel loaders featuring a 2018 Cat 966M. There's 6 telehandlers and reach mowers from John Deere and New Holland, and lots more, like 2 Vector trucks, 2 Mack CV713 transfer trucks, 11 dump trucks, and 2 2015 Peterbilt 567 roll-off trucks. And then there's over 300 titled items, including pickup trucks, vans, and SUVs. Preview all items at our location in Marysville, April 14th and 15th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Get online and start bidding now at murphyauction.com. murphyauction.com.
We are seeing one of the strongest gold markets ever. That jewelry you no longer wear and the gold coins tucked away could be worth a lot more right now. For nearly 5 decades, Bellevue Rare Coins has been the trusted authority for buying gold, rare coins, diamonds, watches, and entire collections with free evaluations, no pressure, and no obligation. Find them in Bellevue, Linwood, Issaquah, or Tacoma, and BellevueRareCoins.com. Bellevue Rare Coins, the trusted authority for selling your valuables.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday.
All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000.
Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma Money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton have vehicles made for adventure seekers. Get the Tundra at 2.99% APR for up to 72 months with $1,000 bonus cash or $4,000 customer cash. Lease the 4Runner for $389 a month or the Tacoma TRD Sport for $399 a month for 36 months with $39.99 due at signing. Whether you're in the north or the south, they've got you covered. Visit ToyotaofKirkland.com and ToyotaofRenton.com. Offers valid through May 4th on approved credit through TFS. Exclusive taxes, titles, license, and a negotiable dealer documentation fee.
You can count on the Seattle Times for local news and information on your teams and your scores. Mariners, Seahawks, Sounders, Kraken, Storm, Huskies, Cougars, Rain. Get inside the game and go beyond the stats. The Seattle Times is always there with game summaries, player interviews, and play-by-play analysis. Don't miss a play. Stay in the game and in the know for what's next. Read our coverage at seattletimes.com/sports.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Presented by Marquee Data. Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Yeah, oftentimes, Brock, for a baseball team that is struggling, an off day like today can be an action day. I don't see that necessarily for the Mariners today. There is no real reason to take any action. They had to do some of that yesterday with the injury to Victor Robles, and they called up Connor Joe. And unfortunately, in his first game playing first base for them, he cost them.
Here's the stretch and the 1-1 on the way to Nimmo. Swinging a ground ball up the first base line. Charging Connor Joe. He'll come to the plate, and it's off the glove of the catcher. Mitch Garver. 1 run will score, and 2 runs will score.
That kind of ended up really being the crucial play in the game, and it's magnified because the bats did so little. Just 2 hits, 2 walks, no real threats, no real traffic, no runs, certainly. As they are swept out of Texas, they fall to 4-9, now last place in the league.
How many runs did they score in this series?
3.
Oof.
3.
Tell you what, if Texas stays healthy in that rotation,
rotation's good. I know,
and it's a big if. It's a big if.
That rotation is so iffy with its health, and the lineup is. But they pitch really well in this series. There's no doubt. And they caught a Mariner team that is not hitting particularly well. So you combine those two things, and it was a really, really ugly couple of days in the Dallas Metroplex. Brendan Donovan knows.
This game, it's not something you can run from. So it's kind of one of those things. It's like
you just got to keep preparing, and I understand I'm not playing to the standard that I set for myself defensively and what I have done the last few years, so that's frustrating. But, you know, my biggest thing is I just want to help the team, and I don't feel like I'm doing a very good job of that over there, so I'll continue to prepare, and, you know, and ultimately I do want the ball hit to me, and I do want to make those plays, and unfortunately, they're just going through some growing pains right now.
I mean, he's talking specifically about him, and it echoes a lot of the accountability we heard from Luke Raley the day before. I don't know. Hearing them say all that stuff it gives me a level of confidence that there is a way out of this whole thing. They just have to figure out what that is and actually get there.
It's a beauty of baseball. You want weird, Brock? I'll give you weird, Brock. You want weird, Brock?
Yeah.
Baseball, you got to be a grasshopper and a buffalo. You got to be... weird Brock. You got to be a goldfish and a buffalo.
Okay.
You got to be a goldfish
so
and
have
no memory.
Yeah.
And you got to be like a buffalo and run right into the storm. That storm coming, you can't run away from it. Buffalo run right into it. You got struggles, you got slumps, you got fielding issues. You got to be a goldfish and a buffalo. You
got to forget them and address them all at the same time.
Difficult.
But it is hard to know exactly what to do.
These are always tough stretches for a lot of reasons, and I think that's one of the reasons is that you don't see the results that you want, and you know, it becomes difficult to know what adjustments to make. But I think, you know, I know this team in that clubhouse. I know what they're about. They know what they're about, more importantly, and I just know that this is a team that will be back.
Well, I hope he's right. The good news is only 3 teams in the AL have a winning record, Brock, and the Blue Jays, Tigers, Astros, Rays, Red Sox have all struggled quite a bit. So there is still plenty of opportunity. Houston comes in for a 4-game, an odd wraparound series, Brock. You don't usually get that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I love it. They get the worst ERA in the league. So we'll see what happens as they face the team with the worst bats in the league.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
All right, well, we found out yesterday Ron Francis will be moving on. He has been the leader of the Kraken hockey operations department since the inception of the team, and that will come to an end. It's very nice the way they did it, and I agree with Greg Wyshinski. Like, with a Hall of Famer and a guy of Ron Francis's stature, you don't just say we fired him, we've parted ways. Like, you do it in a nice way, and that's exactly what they've done. But this is better for everybody. Greg Wyshinski joined us from ESPN earlier.
We tried to warn you. Ron Francis had 8 years in Carolina as either, you know, director of hockey, of player personnel, general manager, then president of hockey operations. And they never made the playoffs in any of those 8 years. And the teams had the same kind of DNA over and over again. They were middling. They were not star-laden. They didn't make bold moves at the trade deadline to change the configuration of their roster to get over the hump. They were very average. And I mean, the fact of the matter is that while Ron Francis, you know, was hired to build the Kraken organization, the next 5 seasons outside of one were exactly what he had in Carolina. Non-playoff teams that were extremely average and in some cases nondescript.
So that's 13 years, 1 playoff run.
Yeah.
1 playoff series win.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really, really hard to fathom.
It's
but
not always easy, man, when you're an unbelievable, talented, one of the great players of all. We see it all the time. It's not easy to transition.
It's funny, though. A lot of guys have been good at it in hockey. You mentioned Steve Yzerman, who was, you know, an all-timer. And he did do a really good job in Tampa. He didn't do as well in Detroit, but he did a really good job in Tampa. It has obviously not worked here nor in Carolina for Ron Francis, so he moves on. There probably need to be other changes as well. Jason Botterill, who is already the GM, will just get an expanded role. I would love to know what they're doing, you know, from a player roster standpoint, because what they've got at the moment, we keep saying the same thing over and over again. You got a lot of guys that are good contributors on a good team, but they're not being put in a position to succeed because they're being asked to do too much. They're not first-line stars, and you're going to have to bring those guys in ahead of them because it's not like you're going to teach an aging player to become a star.
It's weird. You need a star in basketball. You need an ace in baseball. You need a quarterback in football, and you need an elite forward in hockey.
Yeah. Well, you need an elite player. That's for darn sure, and unfortunately, they don't have that.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Doesn't sound like a lot of those guys are going to be available in the NFL draft this year, Brock, but that doesn't mean there aren't good players to be had. Daniel Jeremiah joined us yesterday, and a lot of this conversation has centered around Jadarian Price, running back. He's the second running back from Notre Dame, but might be a good fit here.
He's a good player, man. Yeah. Like if we looked up next year, and especially with that team, with what they have in place there, and he had a 1,100, 1,200 yard rookie season, that wouldn't shock me. He's really talented.
And you see it in this system. This is a system that you have seen Terrell Davis win a couple Super Bowls and be an MVP and be a Hall of Famer. He was, a fifth round or undrafted? Sixth? Hall
of Famer. Yeah. Hall of very good. Sorry. But okay, go on. Sorry. That's the point. I mean, that actually proves the point.
That's right. So where are you going to find them? When do you need them? How much do you invest in them? Were you going to push that envelope for Ken Walker above $8 million? Nope, you were not going to do that. So there still is, even with the moves and the acquisitions thus far, there certainly is a move to be made for a young, explosive back added to this running back room.
All right. Masters, Brock.
What we got?
Well, we've got two guys tied for the lead. One of the most likable players in golf and one of the least likable players in golf. Yes, Patrick Reed and Tommy Fleetwood are both tied at 3 under. Yep, ahead of Jose Maria Olazabal, stayed at 2 under all day. Good for him. And Kurt Kitayama with his. You'd like him, Brock. Do you know Kurt Kitayama? Big legs.
Oh, big.
Big thighs.
Really?
Oh, quad god. You would be a big. No, Sam Burns is on the list. He's one of yours. But Kurt Kitayama? Okay. Well, you got to take a look at him. I think you'd like the body type there.
You've seen Fleetwood's story, right? His wife's like 20 years older.
Oh, much older. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I like Tommy. Who doesn't like Tommy Fleetwood? Did you see his kid yesterday? That's everything you need to know. Did you see Tommy's kid?
It is fun to see the wives and the kids.
Well, his kid was sort of like the big star. I don't know if you saw any of that.
No.
His kid's 8. And last year he tried so hard, I forget which hole it is, to get it over the water.
In the par 3 contest?
Yes. And he takes out driver, and he didn't make it last year. This year he came like a few inches away. But he was like, I should actually have more pull this out if she has some time later. He's so awesome. Kid's like, I tried really hard, and I think next year I'm going to get there. Like, it was the coolest, most professional interview you've ever heard from an 8-year-old. And meanwhile, they're there with Shane Lowry, and his daughter is like patting him on the back. She's 9. And she's like, it's okay, man. You're going to get it next year. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to get it next year. Like, dude, honestly, I'm going to see if Maura can find this because it really was that cool. So if you're not already rooting for someone like Tommy Fleetwood, maybe that'll help. Aaron Goldsmith will join us. He had the privilege of calling these 3 runs as they were scored over the last 3 games in Texas. He'll tell us what's going wrong and what comes next on Brock and Salk.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcast.
Holy smokes, what a play.
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Well, spring is all about getting ready for summer, and I know we've been fooled before with 70-degree days in April. Summer's still some months away, but if you've got a room just sitting empty and you've dreamt of making it a home gym, then now is the time to do so. Brock Heward here. You've heard me talking about it for years. Home gyms are the best. You don't have to go to and from to the gym. You don't have to deal with the weather. You don't have to wait for any machines. They're all in your own place. And here's the deal. With Top Fitness, you give them your room dimensions and your space, and they'll do the rest. A complete fitness room design. It really is no secret why everybody from personal trainers to pro athletes love their stuff. They represent the best brands in fitness, like Precor, made out there in Woodinville, Inspire, along with many others. They got everything from flooring to weights to go into your home gym as well. And right now, you can get special spring finance. Now, I'm talking 0% interest for 12 months. Plus, mention me, and you'll receive a $150 credit towards any purchase over $1,000. Spring's here, so get in Top Fitness locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
How was your break? It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code THRIVE25 for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code THRIVE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's THRIVE25.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Rick Riz here for the Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington's Improve Your Play program. Many of our local youth sports teams need help with field enhancements, training, and equipment. Local Pella owners Keith Dashafy and Luke Wilson are stepping up to donate $5,000 to 2 deserving teams. We need your help finding them. Head to seattlesports.com/play to nominate a deserving team in need. Let's help our local youth improve their play this year with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Contest and rules at seattlesports.com/play.
Mariners and Astros tomorrow at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage the big guys are charging a fortune for, maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong. Saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber, connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
This is happy music. I'm not sure it fits with the mood of Mariner fans, Brock, around the area today. As the team falls to 4-9, it is not the start any of us expected, given the promise of this roster and the talk of World Series and embracing those expectations. But here we are, 4-9, and with some familiar problems, certainly on the offensive side of it. Aaron Goldsmith has called all of these games, or at least most of them. Good morning, Aaron. How are you? You're home?
I appreciated the happy music. It's great to be with you guys.
Yes. How are you? Well, I mean, it's always happy when we're all together. That's why I think we have the real big fish for you. What is the biggest problem? What is the biggest problem you've seen through these first 12 games, 13 games?
Well, obviously, it's on the offensive side. And I think if you look deeper beyond just that, I would probably point to the Mariners just aren't hitting the fastball at all. They've been basically the worst team against the fastball, no matter what lens you look through. If you want to look at the average, if you want to look at the slug, if you want to look at the swing and miss. I mean, if they weren't slugging, but they were hitting for average, you would say, okay, there's something to work on there. And if they weren't hitting for average on the fastball, but they were hitting it over the fence a lot, you'd say, well, okay, well, there's something there. They're doing neither of those things right now. It is just a handful of games, but nonetheless, they have a very talented lineup, as you were just referencing. They should be better than this, but it's a real problem for them right now that, you can afford to have a stretch like this during the course of the season, but it needs to be a stretch. They got to get out of it.
So years ago, there was kind of the change in some of the philosophy, right? There was a new hitting offensive coordinator, I think was his title, hilarious guy that they had brought in. And there was some thought, maybe some understanding that it was
Is anybody talking? We have a bad connection here?
Sorry, you can only hear Brock. They were having some video issues.
That it was a lot of information.
I can't hear Brock.
Oh, you can't hear him?
Oh.
I can't hear him. Which is that I actually
Sorry.
So Lyle Moore and I were on a text chain last night, and I actually requested that, and they didn't think they could make it happen.
I did promise him that Brock wouldn't make it weird today.
Well, he's making it weird in his own way, I guess, by not actually being able to hear him. Maybe we need to do like one of those translation things where Brock tells me the question, and then I relay it to Aaron. And Brock, so I'll tell you where Brock was going with this was a few years ago, they brought in the offensive coordinator, and they tried to change what they were doing, and then, shifted it a little bit more last year. Is there a stylistic change at all? Is there a strategic change at all to what they're doing? We did see that their bat speed is down. Mike Petriello had that yesterday or 2 days ago. I'm not really sure what to make of it. Is there any strategic difference, or is this just an execution thing?
Well, first of all, it will seriously sadden me if I can't hear Brock.
I know. Well, maybe it's for the best.
Lyle,
I don't know.
But Salk, you can hear me?
I can hear me, Salk?
Yes. Make this happen.
I believe it's because he's on video and you're not on video.
It's a video issue.
We might have to figure something out.
All right. Moore's figuring it
my
out.
Questions.
Okay, so I saw the Petriello thing, and I know Mike a little bit. I messaged with Mike a lot over the course of the season, and he always helps me look stuff up that's kind of like deep in the weeds. So Mike's been a terrific resource for me personally, and he does a lot for our game. I don't know if we know enough about that in particular to say, oh, here it is. They're not swinging the bat as fast. Maybe it is something, and maybe there are things to it that are part of the reason why the Mariners are not hitting well. But at the same time, like, here are the questions I have about that. Mm-hmm. And for those who aren't aware of it, there's StatCast has shown that of all 30 teams, the Mariners have had the biggest drop in collective bat speed, simply how fast you swing the bat. And that because of that, maybe that's why the Mariners are not hitting well. Well, first of all, if anybody was out of the ballpark in the first homestand, I mean, there were a couple of days where it was like the Arctic, right?
True.
It was insanely cold. Now, to be fair, it wasn't like it was 80 degrees everywhere else in baseball. There were games in Cleveland and games in Boston or wherever else. So, like, it was cold other places too. So it was super cold. The Mariners faced some really good pitching out of the gate. Not all the pitching that they've seen has been great, but a lot of it has been, especially on that first homestand. Also, there is not a direct correlation between slow bat hitter. The correlation that has been made is slower bat, less power. Mm-hmm. Faster bat, more power. But you can look at bat speed guys that are not great hitters, right? Guys who are elite with bat speed. And you can look at Luis Ariz, who has one of the slowest bats historically, and he obviously hits for greater average and a greater contact than anybody. So I think the one correlation you can make is that if you have a slower bat, you may be more of a contact guy. Well, the Mariners aren't making a lot of contact.
Yeah.
And also, Randy Arozarena has had one of the greatest drops in bat speed on the team. He's been one of their most productive hitters. So I think I love numbers, and I love the fact that we can kind of get deep in the weeds on stuff. But at the same time, I've looked at enough numbers for enough years now where I know that, especially the new stuff, Mike and Brock, if you can hear me, like there can be some noise there, right? And I don't think we can't just look at that and say this is the problem. I've never heard of a hitter, guys, say, you know what, I'm going to swing slower intentionally to try to make more contact.
Yeah.
Now, maybe they do that. I've just never heard it.
I've never heard it either, but it is
something
weird
there, but I think
that
there's a lot of noise there as well.
Yeah, I tend to agree with all of that. I've been more focused on some of the weight of the expectations, because that to me is the one big difference from kind of they tried to embrace the words World Series. We heard it a lot when we were down at spring training. We're not going to be afraid of World Series. We're going to say it over and over again. And I don't have any way to prove that that's the problem. I can't prove it. I don't know what the problem is. But the guys with the most expectations on them seem to be the guys that are struggling the most. And logic just sort of tells me that the weight of expectations so far has been a challenge for them.
And that could be, and I'm with you on this, Mike. Like I can't get in Cal Raleigh's head. I can't get in Julio's head, Josh Naylor's head. Like I don't know. All these guys that we're talking about have track records. One of the reasons why so many people and publications pick the Mariners to win the division and potentially win the World Series is because you have, of a projected 26-man roster, so many of them have not just track records, but really good to great track records, both on the pitching side and now on the hitting side as well. You look at like the top 6 in the lineup, from Julio to Cal to Randy. I mean, you go down the list, right? It's like Naylor. Yeah, all these guys have been there and done that, and they're getting paid because they're great players. So do you not feel that pressure as much if you have a track record to lean on? I would think so. But at the same time, I think everybody is human to a degree. And when you have these expectations and you get off to a bad start, I think it's only natural to feel some of that. And I know I talked to Buhner a little bit about this on the air the last few days. We just saw so many ground ball outs to first base and so many left-handed hitters. And it just looked like guys were just trying to yank everything. Like, let me be the guy that's going to hit an 8-run home run right now and get us out of this thing. And as we all know with baseball, oftentimes, especially for a hitter's perspective, the harder you try, the worse it gets, right? And so the good news is, if this is comforting to anybody, the Mariners have been here before. In fact, it feels like the Mariners have been here every year for as long as we can remember. In fact, last year on this day, they had basically the same record. They were 4-8. And they were averaging 3 runs a game, just like they are now. And they were hitting under 200.
So who will be the fire starter?
And then they rattled off whatever it was, 8 straight series wins, and they finished like 20 games over 500 the rest of the way. So it can turn on a dime, and it needs to turn sooner rather than later for the Mariners. And the good news is they have the ability to do that, but they need to do that.
So who will be the fire starter?
Still can't hear Brock. Oh,
nobody knows.
Darn it.
How the story ends.
Short question. And it's not a you thing. It's an us thing. Who Brock just said, who will be the fire starter?
Nobody knows, Brock. I wish I could tell you. Like,
nobody knows how the story ends.
Like, it's, and I'm not saying that this is what Brock was saying, but it's not like, oh, well, we're going to lean on our quarterback right now. Or we're gonna give the rock to Charbonnet 30 times, and he's gonna get us out of it. Like, that's not how this game works. It could literally be anybody. The thing that I have learned the most in recent years watching Mariner baseball, and I think this is a baseball thing, I don't think this is just a Mariner thing, is that it can turn like this. And oftentimes when it does turn, there are almost no signs to indicate that it's about to turn. Like, That's just a baseball thing, man. And I wish baseball could give you more signs. Like sometimes it happens, like especially if you're talking about an individual hitter. Oh, he's hitting the ball harder. Oh, he's getting the ball in the air more, but it's been caught. And maybe, and now it's going over the fence. With the Mariners, year after year after year, it's just the Walking Dead. And then they're hotter than the sun. Right. They're the best team in baseball. And they carry that for a month at a time. So I understand the panic amongst people listening right now and the greater fan base. I totally get it. I've watched basically every pitch so far this year. But I'll also say they've been here and they've proven that they get out of it. It's just, this is a very Mariner thing.
You know,
I wish it wasn't.
You're right, Aaron. We've been trying to have this conversation. I mean, look, we're going to talk about this every day here on the show, and you're sort of caught between two masters. On one hand, trying to recognize that it's a long season and what you do over now a 2-week stretch does not indicate what you're going to do over the next 2-week stretch or the week after that, but also recognizing that what we've seen for 2 weeks has been awful. I mean, it really, because it's not just the offense. To me, I can actually live with the bad offense. To me, it's the execution and the little things that have gone with the offense that have been magnified because of the offense that have been problematic. It was 2 nights ago, the error and then Cole Young not getting to the ball that goes for a hit, and all of a sudden that's a couple of runs. And then it's the 9th inning where you get first and second, and unfortunately Raley misses the bag. And, credit to him for saying so and doing the right thing. But, unfortunately, mental mistake followed by Canzone's inability to get the ball to the right side instead of the left side. You don't move the runners, and it costs you a game. And then yesterday, you have a chance to throw home, and you throw it over his head, and it costs you the game. Like, unfortunately, those lack of concentration issues can't come with a team that's not hitting. You can't do both.
Totally agree. I think the little things are little. The big things are big, which I know seems like an obvious statement. We wouldn't be talking about this if they had just put 5 runs up on the board every game on the road trip, right? Or 4 or 5 runs, which I mean, let me be clear. That's not going to happen every night. It's baseball. But there's no team that has a great offense. Does anybody ever talk about the little things? Or hardly ever, right? Because like, oh, yeah, they just go out there and they score. And the Mariners, I think what makes this team project so well is that they have the personnel to do both. Like they have really good baseball players, both on the mound and in the box. I think defensively, it is a question about what the Mariners will be like this year, even with the talent that they have. They should be a team that can make the routine play. They should be that team, even with the guy at third base who's really learning that position on a full-time basis now in Donovan. And you can tell in his comments, he's beating himself up a little bit about some early season miscues. But you still love the player, and he makes the Mariners better. But they have the ability to get out of this. That doesn't mean they will. Like, I'll just be frank about it. It doesn't mean they will. That's just the reality. That being said, it is really hard to squint your eyes and look at this lineup if we just focus on the offense, since the pitching's been so dynamite, and say, oh, yeah, I think for 6 months they're going to all struggle. Guys who up and down the lineup have had massive career milestones and achievements and silver sluggers and all-star games. Like, you really believe that over the length of the season, which is why they play 162 of these things, that it will come together. And the good news for the Mariners, it could come together as soon as tomorrow, and then they can get as hot as the sun and carry it into October. But it needs to happen. Does it have to happen on Friday? No. But it needs to happen pretty soon before they start to get too bad.
Yeah, the start's a little more important this year than maybe some other seasons. And I think what happened after the WBC and the expectations and all of that kind of puts a little more emphasis on this. Matt in Oregon weighing in, saying, I love that it would somehow be faster for Salk to listen to half of Brock's question, summarize it, and then spit it back than it would be for Brock to ask the whole question. That's not untrue. Thankfully, via text, Brock has to be a little faster. So he just sent me this one, Aaron. Why are they pitching so well? It's a Brock question. I have to. Aaron, why are they pitching so well?
The expectations haven't hurt their pitching.
Yeah. The
expectations have only affected their hitters. I mean, why are the expectations not affecting pitching?
Stop just having fun at Brock's expense, because I love Brock.
You know what would be funny if the whole time Aaron could actually hear Brock? If this whole thing was just an act. And he's messing with Brock, messing with the audience, and poor Mora's back there trying to do 12 different things to get this to work. And Aaron's like, oh, I actually could hear him the whole time. I just thought it would be funny.
No, guys, wrong. We had a fun Microsoft Teams update overnight.
Oh, good. Thank you. All right. But I think what Brock's trying to ask is, why haven't the expectation issues affected the pitching?
Well, that's an interesting question, Brock. Let me give you a pat on the back there.
Thanks, Aaron.
I mean, pitching is very different than hitting, right? One you got control, the other you're very reactionary. But I think the bigger thing for me on the pitching front is, the pitching was not great last year for the Mariners. There were elements of it that were great to elite, right? Brian Wu, Andres Munoz. But in terms of how the Mariners got to 8 outs away from the World Series last season, if somebody had told you that at this point last year, that was the Mariners' future, you would say, oh, man, well, they rode this rotation again. And as we all know, that wasn't the case. So for the Mariners pitching and the rotation in particular to come out and look like it did 2 years ago is incredible. Mm-hmm. And not that we're surprised by it, but it's kind of like, take a little bit of a breath, be like, yeah, okay, this is the warm pair of slippers the Mariner fans remember. This is what it's like when every single day the Mariners send a starting pitcher out there and you expect him to get into the 6th inning and you expect him to hold the other team to 3 runs or fewer. And that's what makes the Mariners great. So they are doing their part of the deal. And they're not asking for much. And that's what has made it so frustrating, right? If the Mariners offense had just gotten like 2 or 3 runs on certain nights, that would have been, I don't know, like a 500 road trip maybe, or close to it. And instead they only won 1 game. So it's a proven pitching staff, clearly, especially in the rotation. And it has been great to see them get back to where we all know they can be.
Hey, you mentioned the defense at third with Donovan, which we've all seen. The defense in left, I think we've had some questions as well. I appreciated your question the other day in the game where you're like, isn't that maybe the left fielder's ball to call everybody off? I thought that was funny. So thank you for making me laugh while I was sitting at home. That and as we've talked about the National Cattleman's Beef reads, which are just the best. Those are awesome. Just the way they drop in is just hilarious. Those have been 2 of my highlights of the year so far. Yes.
That's too bad.
At some point, well, unfortunately, there hasn't been a tremendous amount of highlights on the field. At some point, could we see more of Donovan in left, Randy DHing, and maybe somebody else coming in to play third base? I don't know where they'd come from. I don't know, Tacoma, maybe. Guy named Colt Emerson. But at some point, could we see that sort of shift to try to improve the defense?
So I've thought about that. I haven't spoken to anybody within the Mariners about that yet. Here's my one concern with that. I'm just going to be perfectly honest. Randy's in a contract year. You're going to tell a guy in a contract year, hey, you're now a part-time DH? It takes a pretty big man to say, I got you, Skip. Yeah, I'll do what you need there. Now, if Randy just signed a big fat free agent deal and he was taken care of for the rest of his life, maybe it's different. I don't know. I've never been on the receiving end of a conversation like that. In fact, I'm sure it's happened. I can't even point to a time in history where something like that's happened. Although I'm sure something like that has happened. I mean, Devers had all his money.
Hey, Aaron, you're up for a contract next year, but we're going to have you just do 3 innings on radio moving forward instead of all of the games on TV. Like, I'm sure that you wouldn't take that all that well either. No, I'm with you. I think you're right. And if I'm Randy, I wouldn't take that well myself.
Yeah. Now, if you're the Mariners, you say, well, then, hey, we need you to be a little more locked in out there, right? And I'm sure that they've said that to him.
Mm-hmm.
Someone at some point in the first 2 weeks of the season. So that I have no idea what Donovan is like as a left fielder. Is he probably around average? Yeah, I bet he's probably around average. Is that an upgrade? I'll let other people decide that. I don't know. But I think the point is it isn't as, I guess my point, Mike, is that, as you probably understand, like, it isn't as clean as it sounds if you're making a fantasy baseball lineup right now. There's some emotion and
Aaron,
livelihood.
honestly, first of all, I agree with you 100%, and thanks for saying it. It's a good conversation. It's an uncomfortable conversation for all of us because, unfortunately, it leads back to what happened at the WBC and soon afterwards, and a question of, is everything hunky-dory? Is everything copacetic here with Cal, Randy, and everybody associated with whatever the heck went down? Because Randy's still in a contract year. There was still the awkwardness of how it all went down. And now you've got the pressure of a team not playing its best that is sort of pushing on all of that.
Yeah, I don't think that this is at all a Cal issue or a WBC issue. I don't think. Now, I haven't talked to either one of those since the season has started about what is going on. I think right now the issue is the Mariners stink. I think that's the issue, right? And the Mariners need to do everything they can to be the team that they think they can be, which is a potential World Series champion. And they're going through it. They're going through it right now. And I think the last thing the Mariners want to do, whether you are the pitching coach, the bench coach, Dan Wilson, or Jerry DiPoto, is you want to make things as harmonious as possible, right? And try to get this thing steer in the right direction. So something like that doesn't seem to me like would do that right now. Yeah. But at the same point, if we're having this conversation, Mike, 2 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now, I don't know. Maybe things become more desperate. But I guess I continue to fall back on they were in this exact same position last year. They were in the exact same position. And look what happened. And they are since the problem is the offense, that's what we're talking about, they're a better offensive team than they were last year.
Okay, especially at this time.
Especially what?
Especially early in the year, right? When they had the Rowdy Telez's. I mean, they should be much better right now than they were a year ago.
100%. Like, Rob Refsnyder is actually a very good hitter against lefty pitching. You'd have no idea.
No, he
actually is. He has an incredible track.
Can you thank him for his time,
Naylor, right? Like, we know all these guys. We've already seen the benefits of Donovan as a leadoff hitter. Like, they're a noticeably better offensive team, but it'd be hard for me to convince somebody of that right now, and I understand that.
Can you thank him for his time, Saul?
Sure. They need to play better.
I'd be happy to thank him for his time.
This has been the Mariners thing for a couple of years now. They have the people in the room.
Yep.
The people just need to play better.
Please do that.
That's what it is right now.
Certainly the games are being called well. By the way, I've mentioned this on the air a couple of times. I love the app. The app is great. It works so well. It is awesome. Honestly, I know that there was some frustration from some people at the beginning of the year. The app is awesome. It's crystal clear. You and Angie and Ryan and everybody sound great, look great. The ability to start a game at the beginning where they already are in the game, and it gives you all those options. If you turn it off and turn it back on, you can resume where you were or go to live or go back to the beginning. If you're fast forwarding or rewinding, they give you a little notation for the start of each half inning. So, it really is a tremendous, tremendous product once you figure out how to use it all. It has been a great experience, and as always, you're doing a great job navigating all of it. Aaron, thank you for taking some time. Sorry about the awkwardness with Brock, but that's just sort of par for the course, and we'll catch you next time.
I thought it was Brock's best performance.
So did I.
Guys.
Yeah, so did I.
We'll see you.
Appreciate that. Aaron Goldsmith, voice of the Mariners on TV and on the app and on video, I guess we should say.
It's all good here, man.
We'll try to get our stuff together. We'll come right back, and Brock will try to give us another draft profile next on Brock and Salk.
Rangers shut out the Mariners this afternoon. Offense continues to struggle. Only 2 hits on the day.
A day off comes at the right time. Up next, the Mariners return home looking to end a 5-game skid in the first of 3 against the Astros. Tomorrow night at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame.
That is 12 in a row set down by Emerson Hancock.
Listen live anywhere for free on the Seattle Sports app. One app, every Mariners game.
Hey, Mike Salk here. I don't know if you've been thinking about GLP-1 injections for weight loss, but before you start, you got some questions you got to ask, right? Like, are you going to spend $3,000 to $5,000 every year and then stay on that medication long-term just to maintain? Yeah, many prescription weight loss injections require weekly shots. The medication stops, and then the weight regain is very common. Most people don't realize the research shows a significant portion of that weight is actually muscle. Well, you don't want to lose your muscle. You're only looking to lose fat. That's why at Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, they take a totally different approach. It's doctor-developed, and it helps men and women lose 20, 30 pounds or more in just 60 days. No injections, no synthetic hormones, no long-term dependence. Instead, it's real food, resetting your metabolism, controlling hunger and cravings naturally, and helping your body burn fat, not muscle. So come to the clinic in Kirkland, or you can do it anywhere. They got great remote options. Go to eastsideweightlossklinic.com and keep that weight off for good. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Rev up your life at America's Car Museum. Perfect for all ages. It's more than a museum. It's an experience. If you loved Ford versus Ferrari, see the real machines in the birth of the American supercar. Curated by Steve Saleen. Featuring legendary Shelby Cobras and GT40s. Enjoy cruise-ins, drive-ins under the stars, and next-generation race simulators. Grab the family, invite friends, and accelerate the heart rate of fun and learning. Plan your visit today at americascarmuseum.org.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Step inside and let the excitement take you places. This is Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the ultimate spot for action that reaches incredible heights, luxury that knows no bounds, and live entertainment that always thrills. It's all at one incredible destination. So when you look for the best, look nowhere else. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest.
Contractors, equipment buyers, operators, this is the big one you've been waiting for. The huge Marysville Heavy Equipment, Contractors Equipment, and Vehicles online auction. Presented by the Murphy Auction Company. Bidding is underway now and starts closing at 10 a.m. Thursday, April 16th. On the auction block, 11 excavators, including a 2018 Bobcat E85, 3 wheel loaders, featuring a 2018 Cat 966M. There's 6 telehandlers.
Hey, Maura, you have